Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Shutterfly. If you're like us, you take a lot of pictures because you have a camera right in your hand all the time. How would you not take a lot of pictures? And we're taking all these pictures, more than we've ever taken in the history of the world.
What are you going to do with them all?
That's the thing. You used to get a solid picture, and then you'd look through them, and you could enjoy them. Now they're like back on your camera roll. You can't even find them. You don't want that. That's why the cool thing you need to do, and what I did, and I think it's pretty cool, is create a Shutterfly photo book.
Oh.
What I did, and you're going to enjoy this, Jimmy, because I haven't showed this to you yet, but took all of our pictures from being on tour this year.
Oh.
All live show pictures, us backstage, us on stage, doing all that stuff, and like some of the venues and things, and made a little photo book out of that. Also, they have free 24-hour designer service as well. With their 24-hour designer service, a professional designer is going to lay out the book for you for free in just a day. Make something that means something with Shutterfly. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with promo code SMALLTOWN. See site for promotional details.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
This message comes from Greenlight. Ready to start talking to your kids about financial literacy? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app that teaches kids and teens how to earn, save, spend wisely, and invest with your guardrails in place. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on your kids' spending with real-time notifications. Join millions of parents and kids building healthy financial habits together on Greenlight. Get started risk-free at greenlight.com/Wondery.
This week in Shelton, Washington, when a bloody scene is discovered in a woman's home, the only thing police have to go on is a mysterious shoeless man found wandering the highway. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us in the new year.
Yes.
This is going to be, we're recording this on New Year's Day.
We are.
Yeah, this is our holiday. Yeah. We're going to spend
January 1, I'm here.
We are here, that's right, and we have such a crazy story for you. We're going to kick the new year off with pure insane.
Correct.
The subject this week, or the ends up being the murder, really makes our pocket Robin guy look like could probably pull it together sometime soon, in comparison to this guy.
Shift leader.
Yeah, he's going to be. He'd be the shift leader of this guy. This guy's definitely a crew member though on his team here. So we'll get to that in a second. Thank everybody. First of all, thank you so much for all of you done for us this week. Your reviews, Apple Podcasts, that purple icon. We don't know why they count for anything.
It's weird.
We would just love it to say, hey, don't worry about it. Just listen to the show. For some reason, though, those reviews help drive you up the charts, and that's very important in the world of podcasting. So if you haven't done it yet, please help us out. It helps a lot on the business end. Get on Apple Podcasts and give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say. You can say they're forcing me to do this.
They are.
I think they're outside right now.
Yeah.
They just knocked on my window. By the way,
We are.
Look outside. So do that, please. That helps a lot. Also, if you do that on Stitcher, that also helps for some reason. So please do that. Also, shutupandgivememurder.com. Everything small town murder and crime and sports related.
Right.
And if you're not listening to crime and sports, get it together and listen to crime and sports. It's really not about sports. It's really more about idiots.
Change your day.
Change your day. It's a lot of fun. It's like this, except with an athlete instead of a redneck.
More drugs.
More,
boy, oh boy.
Yeah, there's drugs, there's murder, there's all sorts of craziness. So check that out. Merchandise, all sorts of new stuff up. Most of all, though, tickets to live shows.
Yeah.
Holy cow, we got them coming up next month. Denver and Salt Lake City are sold out.
Dunzo.
But they're done. But on February 15th and 16th, we are in Indianapolis, Indiana, and Louisville, Kentucky, and both of those have tickets available. And then in March, we're in San Francisco for 2 nights, 2 late shows.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
Come out and see Small Town Murder at 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for that.
In a fun town.
In a fun town. Boston's just about sold out. Seattle, you're gone. I think there's 5 tickets left. They're all singles. Portland, that second show is almost gone too. So get those tickets now. New
And
York's
if you're in
selling
those towns
fast.
and you're thinking about coming and you don't have anybody to go with, fucking come
Yeah, you can
alone.
go solo.
It's the coolest thing in the world.
It is, because everybody there, it's a gathering. Once everyone sits down, you're not in your little group anymore. You're in a gathering. It's
a bunch of people.
It's a very weird thing. It's like a weird, like, I feel like this is what Grateful Dead fans must have felt like. We're just going to go and hang out. Yeah, it's like-minded folks here, and we're all going to chill, and it's going to be fun. Less drugs probably at our shows.
A little bit.
Well, not less drugs in the actual place. Outside, you guys do whatever you got to do.
Less drugs happening.
Definitely. So get those. If you want to be a hero of ours and also be a producer, one of the people who keep the lights on and keep everything rolling along smoothly, and really our heroes, our producers who we talk about at the end of the show, you can do that extremely easily by going over to patreon.com/crimeinsports or head over to PayPal and use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com. And everything you guys do for us is very, very appreciated. We will have Patreon bonuses in the new year, plenty of them, at least one a month, if not more. And we'll try to do cases and different things, prisoner dating games, and all sorts of different stuff.
Those.
Yeah, we have a good time, and so do that. Join the team. With that said, it's time to do the disclaimer.
Okay.
It's a comedy podcast. We still have to, it's episode 152.
Yeah.
It's the new year, but we still have to do the old disclaimer. It's a comedy show. We're comedians. We're going to make jokes, okay? The people are going to die. They are. It's called Small Town Murder. This shouldn't shock you. I assume that's why you're listening. So, you know what I mean? You're okay with that. So it's called Small Town Murder. People are going to die. We make fun of things.
Yeah.
There's a lot to make fun of around a crazy case.
We didn't do it.
We didn't do it. And we can't bring anyone back from the dead either. That's the other thing. What we can do is go out of our way to not make fun of the victims or the victims' families, because we're assholes, but we're not scumbags.
Now you're talking.
So if that sounds good to you, then great. We're going to have a good time. If you think true crime and comedy should never go together, this isn't for you, probably. I mean, you could give it a chance. We're not probably as terrible as you think we are, but if you don't want to take the chance, that's good. We don't want to hear anyone complain afterwards. So have a good one. The rest of you, ready to hear a crazy story? I think it's time to sit back and shout, "Shut up and give me murder!" Let's go on a trip, Jimmy.
Right.
What do you say?
Yeah.
Let's do this. We're coming from the Midwest. We were in Indiana last week. Vincennes, Indiana last week, to be extremely specific. And we are heading out to the West Coast this week. We were kind of hanging around the East Coast for a while and back and forth up the Eastern Seaboard. Yeah. Now we're going to go shoot out west to Washington State. Yeah. I love Washington, by the way. Home of trees and legal weed and meth. I don't love the meth, but there's a lot of it outside the city. It's Seattle's one of those places I feel like, or it's not Seattle, Washington. It's one of those places where I feel like people in Seattle think of it like New York State. People in New York City think of it like there's this, and then the rest of it is West Virginia.
There's us, and then there's Olympia,
and then
everything else is Olympia.
Lock your doors when you get out of the city. Lock your doors, because the meth monsters out there are going to get you. So this is in western central Washington. It's like south of Seattle. It's a county from the Pacific, basically.
Got it.
It's a county inland. This is meth country, Jimmy. This would be, instead of like the Marlboro Man, this is Marlboro country with like a hat, a cowboy hat. hat and a duster on.
Right.
This is like a guy with no teeth and scabs on his face.
Talks with a whistle.
He talks with a whistle, and he's like, smoking a cigarette butt he found on the ground.
Yeah.
And not one he just freshly lit. It's like smashed and has sneaker marks on it. He's smoking that.
I just saw a guy do that recently.
Welcome to meth country. We all have. That's very common.
Very recent.
In a city.
Chicago.
Oh,
we
yeah.
were there.
If you spend any time in a city, you're going to find that.
Guy asked me for a lighter, and I was like, I don't got one, man. So he got one, and then he turns around with literally a quarter of an inch of a cigarette to go.
And it's smashed, so like half the tobacco's out of it. What are you smoking? There's some good hits in this filter left.
I just handed him what was left of mine. I was like, smoke this, bro. I'm sorry.
Please.
I don't
please
trust whatever
smoke
that
this.
is.
Jesus, who knows how long that's been there. So yeah,
That's been snowed on.
This is what we're talking about. The meth country, like we said. What kind of hat would they wear? It's a cowboy hat.
It's got holes in it.
It's I feel like it's like a propeller beanie that's like been run over by a car 3 times.
One blade on it.
They found it on the ground and stuck it on their methy head. So this is Shelton though is definitely, this area is meth country. It's on the edge of a panhandle too. This is on the edge of a handle, not necessarily a panhandle, but it juts out.
The bottom of Washington does that. Right?
Oh yeah, this is kind of the western central part.
Okay.
We're around the sound there where it comes up. It's about an hour and 25 minutes to Seattle. You go around the water, about 2 hours and 10 minutes to Portland if you head down south, and then an hour and 45 minutes to Clearview, Washington, which is episode 113, which we did on April 3rd of 2019. So it's been like 8 months since we've been there. This is in Mason County. So zip code 98584, area code 360.
Jesus.
It's 6 square miles. It's not a good area code.
No, it's just one of the last zip codes. 9-8.
Well, you're the northwestern
We're
corner
about
of the
out.
state.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. Starts with 0 in the northeast, and now it's like,
we're almost done.
The UK, Hawaii, fuck, I don't know.
They got 999s.
Give them an extra digit, guys, because we ran out of shit.
Start over.
I don't know. Alaska, they don't need mail up there.
Right.
I don't know. It's just
turn the odometer over and add a number.
Tie it to a moose and slap him on the ass and send him on his way. Here you go. The Alaskan mail system. Enjoy. It's the Moose Express. Fuck the ponies. So this is a 6 square mile town.
Okay.
So it's not that big of a town. It has 2 mottos. These are actual 2 real mottos here. None of mine.
No.
No. Well, mine would be welcome to meth country.
Right.
I feel like that's their motto there. But theirs is Evergreen City because they're very green. It's a lot of trees.
6 square miles. We're going to go with city.
They're trying.
All right.
Or, here's the other one, Christmas Town, USA.
Oh, you assholes.
Christmas Town, USA,
Isn't
baby.
there a Santa Claus, like
There's a
7
Santa
of
Claus,
them?
Georgia, that we covered. There's this. They call this the Christmas tree capital of the world.
No, okay, I
Which
got it.
I would assume there'd probably be a lot of Christmas tree farming going on up here. But this is Christmas Town, USA, and they embrace that shit.
I just found out to make a Christmas tree, they go to the top of a very tall tree and top the top off.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was how they did it.
Well, yeah.
I thought you just had like farms growing 8-foot trees.
There's different ones like that because there are farms where you like to cut your own ones where they do that on purpose. But I think like the industrial thing is, you're just lopping tops off. The next year you got more tops to lop off.
Wild.
I would imagine. Yeah,
I didn't realize. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, every year fucking 150 million Christmas trees would be like, we have no more forest. Every year we're just decimated.
Also,
we would be using oak trees by now. I put a palm tree in my living room.
Also, $200 is a screaming deal for a tree that to get an 8-foot tree. That's probably
how much water
10
do you have
years?
to? How much water would you have to use to put into that? More than $200 worth of water, probably. So that's
a deal.
Now we're talking. Goddamn it! You grew it just for me. Just for me, huh? Thanks.
Unbelievable.
So Shelton here is incorporated in 1890. It's named after David Shelton, who I know is a hero to all of us.
Yeah, not Blake.
When we were kids, obviously the David Shelton posters on our walls, very, very important.
I still have his card.
Well, he was a delegate to the territorial legislature, and I know how you are with these territorial legislatures. Yeah. These delegates, it's like they were heroes to some kids back in the day, like cowboys were their heroes or sports figures. figures.
There's a reason it sounds so close to delicate. It's near and dear.
It was right there. It's named for him. He served as a delegate to the territorial legislature. This town was originally known as Sheltonville.
Oh.
And they were like, why? Fucking drop the Ville. What are we doing here?
There's no other Shelton in this country.
Ville makes it sound smaller, too. I think they wanted it to be like, because a lot of city, they want this, they're pretending like they got something here.
And since Dr. Seuss, I think everybody else should just drop Ville from everything.
Yeah.
It makes it sound
Except
stupid.
for Louisville, where we'll be February 16th.
Louisville,
You should buy your tickets
Louisville's
now.
a good one.
You can keep that.
If it's got a baseball bat named after it,
that's
keep
fine.
it.
That's
Everybody
fine.
else,
You can have it.
Drop it.
That's right. So Shelton and his wife, Frances Shelton, they had their family there. They had a farm at the head of Oakland Bay in 1853. And Shelton at this point is basically... It's kind of cut off from shit back when they first started. It's served by a fleet of steamboats that they have that bring supplies in and shit. It's easier than going around, apparently. It's tough territory back in the day. A bunch of these boats would come in. The economy, they built it around, as you might imagine, not meth back then, actually, which
beaver
is
pelts,
or weed growing or anything. And this is out of their like town's historical thing. The economy was built around, quote, logging, farming, dairying, ranching, as well as oyster cultivation.
Is that right?
Yeah, because it's the sound right there, so you can get some oysters going on. And
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, up here they're the less briny oysters because they're in a sound. They're closer. The East Coast ones, you get the saltier oysters.
So good.
Fucking love oysters.
They're the best thing ever.
Oh my God, they're so good.
You can eat them all day. You never get full.
No, you can't. No, well, I did
You never
once.
feel gross.
One time I went to the this was I was probably 22. We went to the Rio in Vegas, the Rio buffet.
Oh God, Jesus, you ate what?
Okay, the Rio buffet in Vegas.
You did a Vegas buffet of oysters.
Well, the Rio buffet it was back then. I know it was a long time ago, but the buffet was really good. They had good shit. It was Vegas and it was July. It was probably 112 degrees outside.
Oh my God.
So I ate, 3 dozen raw oysters and a bunch of other shit, lobster tails and all this stuff. I really loaded it up. I was fucking high as a kite. And I
pushed a bunch of shit that lives in the water into your belly.
I went outside, smoked weed, came back in and finished up. Like I was a serious businessman in this. The buffet was like $50 and that was not easy money to come by at the time. So I'm getting my money's worth. So I ate so much. And then we were like, let's go walk around.
And
so now it's 112 and I have 36 oysters fighting in my stomach, just absolutely going, this heat is not okay. We need to be refrigerated. Holy shit. I've never had to sit down and just go more in my life to not throw up fucking half of the ocean.
The grossest.
Outside of the New York. Because that's what would have happened. Oh my God, disgusting!
That's a long walk from the Rio.
Oh, we didn't
New
walk
York.
there. We ended up taking a
sweet Christ, man.
We ended up going to the old strip for some reason, and it has that overhang, which makes it way hotter in the summer.
Yeah.
So I'm walking around. So not only is it 112 outside, it's under this dome where it's like humid because they have misters on. I was literally like blinking. I can't walk anymore. I went in like the Four Queens or some shitty place and sat down at a slot machine for a minute just to catch my breath. It was bad stuff. So
good Lord,
thank you for those wonderful oysters, Washington State. Is what I'm getting at.
I love them though.
So
I think I'm gonna stick with a dozen from now on. After that
dozen?
story, that's gross.
3 dozen. Just if it's over 100 degrees out, you maybe want to keep your oyster consumption down a little bit.
Share a dozen,
or eat a dozen. Just don't eat 3 dozen, and then have 5 lobster tails on top of it. And then say, fuck it, I want some lamb, too.
Let's walk to lamb.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. It was back in the day when it was like, well, I'm going to get I was like 22. I'm getting my money's worth, God damn it. I can eat as much as I want.
My body can do it.
And then walk around.
Gross.
Now I would just go to bed if I ate all that. I'm going to bed now, thank you.
I'd put some of that in Tupperware. Some Snapware, some nice Snapware, and throw that in the fridge.
How have I matured? Well, now I'd bring Tupperware. So much more mature now.
Bring a Ziploc and throw it in the Snapware.
You know how it goes.
Take care of that shit later.
Jesus Christ. So yeah, Shelton here, they had the Simpson timber mill was a big deal here. They had a lot of timber going on here as well. So everything they're getting from the water, getting from the earth and shit like that here. So they have different forms of government government that I don't really care about. Don't even want to get into here. But it was the last city in Washington to use a mayor/commission form of government, apparently. And then in November of 2017, they adopted a different form of government. So there's that. Okay. So in 1970, they put out a history of Shelton, and this is from a history of it from back in the day. It's a quote from this. Timber brought the influx of a new proud breed, drastically affecting settlements in the county. These people came looking for work, not land. Men came to test their stamina against the forest, their stomachs with logging camp chow. Oh. Jesus, that sounds...
Test your stomach with logging... I
think they just needed work. Yeah. I don't think they were like, I want to test my mettle against the forest, see if I can beat the forest while keeping shitty food down. I don't think that was the...
See how many oysters I can cram in my gut.
And then go outside and chop trees down. I don't think that was the fucking... I think they were like,
bunch
there's
of
work
pussies,
there.
Walk the Vegas Strip. Do that.
Yeah, you fucking... Yeah. Walk the old strip.
Right.
That's right. Go sit in Binions for a minute, you fucking dirtbags. See how you like that shit. Yeah, Binions.
Cutting trees sounds like a vacation.
Yeah, compared to that, it is. So, the dairy industry was big here. They were into dairying, also some beef cattle ranches and shit like that. Any rural shit basically. Huge fire in 1914. How many times have we said from like 1880 to 1920, half the country burned?
Shit, yeah.
1914, the flames took 17 of the town's 20 stores.
Wow.
So they had 20 stores and 17 of them burned to the fucking ground.
3 left.
So 3 left. That's not great.
No.
That is like 85% of your stores have burned to the ground.
It's over.
That's bad shit here. Also, the Methodist church caught fire. The bank burned. The vault survived though, so people's money at least was safe there. But they built a hospital in 1920. Before that they were transporting people to Olympia, which is a while away, and the roads weren't great back then. It's pre-highways and shit, so it's that sort of thing here. They have different hospitals there now. In 1994, they're very excited because Walmart opened a 102,000 square foot store there and gave 200 jobs.
Oh,
so.
That pays nothing.
Yeah, that's right. So, and Shelton also, though, is very much in terms of, they have like a lot of like antique shops, and like secondhand bookstores and shit like that. It's everything in Washington is like, it's so strange out there. It's like timber, meth, hippie. There's only those 3 things.
And it's all got a musty-ass smell.
Yeah, timber meth hippies are everywhere.
Everything smells like a used book.
You're right. It all smells like that dust mite used book thing.
How fucking old
that
is
you
this?
got out of the basement.
Right. This says copyright 84, but it smells much older. It
smells like it's 1884, I feel like. And we don't mind saying this because Seattle's just about sold out.
Right.
So fuck it.
They know.
We don't have to make them. Yeah, they know it's musty.
They smell it.
You smell the must, motherfuckers. If you don't, you know why? Because you're there.
Right.
You need to go somewhere. Go to Idaho for like 2 days and come back. And then go, oh, yeah, it's a little musty.
It
That's
does
right.
smell weird.
Yeah. Get the smell of potatoes out of your nose. So they had, I found some reviews of this town here, which are just absolutely awesome. Yeah. And, people are very... I don't know if they're not real excited about this place. Let's talk about it here. One guy says he lists crime statistics, which we'll talk about later, but he says below are the crime statistics on Shelton, Washington compared to the national average. Several things you can count on in Shelton is an increase in crime, homeless living everywhere, and it's going to rain. So that's Washington. It's too bad. The area is a beautiful place full of many outdoor activities and within 1 to 2 hours away from the cities. 1 star for that. I have another 1-star review. Quote, Shelton is a small town stuck in the mud. That's the best way to describe it. People like it that way from what I can tell. It's stuck in time between an old town appearance but infiltrated with modern day druggies. Old rundown homes in some places and absolutely nothing downtown but a couple of okay restaurants and a few decent shops. It has a dilapidated Safeway. Well then, you're now reviewing the town's grocery store.
Right.
You
resorted to being very petty.
It has a dilapidated Safeway. Right. That's the last non-updated store in Safeway's inventory. This guy, did he go to the Safeway archive?
Right.
He went to Safeway.com and said, I want to see a full map of all your remodels. And there's one dot not in fucking green. There's one dot still in red, and it's his
town.
It's like, I knew it. I fucking knew it. Everywhere else in the entire country,
remodeled except for this.
Son of a bitch. So last non-updated store. Up on the hill is Walmart and Fred Meyer, which is another grocery store, with a strip of stores. That's called a strip mall.
Right.
All the regular fast food places and several banks and gas stations. Basically, Shelton is simply a place for most people in Mason County to get their groceries, do banking, and grab a bite to eat. That's it. It's the logistical support hub for the county and thousands that live well outside the city limits. So you're going to get some shit-kicking, meth-fucking people who are going to come to this town to re-up their supplies, basically, and then back into the forest with them to, I don't even know. Yeah, it's one of those. And here's another one-star review. This one's a little shorter. It's just easy here. Quote, Shelton is a horrible place to live. It's the least diverse place I've been in a while. The schools are trash, and the people are very rude and arrogant.
All right.
Arrogant? What are you arrogant about?
Everybody?
It rains every day. Just fucking puffing out your chest. What are you arrogant about? I smell the least like must of anyone in town.
We have the best old book smelling place ever.
Those dust mites. Fuck, man. That's amazing. So population of this town, it's gone through some fluctuations here. It got to its really lowest in the 1900s. In 1920, they were down to 984 people.
Oh, shit.
That was after that fire.
Yeah.
So a lot of people just left. They're like, well, fuck it, town burned down, and they just left.
3 stores isn't going to feed everybody.
No, but by 1930, they had 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And they've been going up and up and up, and they've been holding steady for a little while, and now it's kind of shot up recently.
Yeah, that
Seattle's very expensive.
Yeah.
And once you put a Walmart in, I mean, they're going to flock.
They're here.
People in this town now, population is 9,882.
Wow.
So it's decent, up 36% since 1990. So I got to feel like that's expensive cities, people fleeing to less expensive places. Male population well above the female. It's like almost 53% male, which is, not normal. If anything, it's usually a few more females.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's logging. I don't know what that is there, but who knows? All the fucking Walmart, they're sexist too. Damn it! They got a Walmart now.
Let's go, fellas.
Come on, Ted, Bill, Tom, hop in the truck. We're going. We're all moving.
We're moving there.
Leave your wives. We're moving by ourselves.
It's only 9,000 people.
Well, shit.
We're damn sure going to get through and out of there fast.
No shit.
The lines at this Walmart are ridiculous.
So. Well, of course, they only got one cashier, so that hurts. They got 20. They lined up 25 registers, but it's just one person working.
That annoys the motherfucker out of me.
Why did you set this up?
Why does this exist?
Why'd you set up the infrastructure
you
for
bought
this?
all of these electronics.
Imagine there was 30 lanes on the freeway and one was open.
That's ridiculous.
But there was no work being done on any of the other ones.
Got it funneled down to one.
Up.
Oh, I'd kill
Why?
somebody. I'd choke a life out of somebody.
God, all the kid demographics are high. All the old people demographics are low here.
Okay.
But then, like in the surrounding areas, it's different. It flips. The old people are high. So if you live kind of in the rural areas, you don't move away.
Yeah.
You stay there till you die. But here, younger people move here and have kids because they can afford it, I feel like. That's the vibe I'm getting. It's only 35% married here, too.
Really?
Normally 50-50. So it's single people with children, 30%, which is double the average. So a lot of single with kids here. Race of this town, 74% white, 0.4% black.
Wow.
Not a lot of black people there at all. 1.2% Asian. That's in like an hour and a half from Seattle. That's in Washington. That's like not a lot of Asian people at all there. And we have 19% Hispanic here. So now religion, it's less religious than normal. It's usually 50-50 here. It's about 28%, and it's a decent mixture. Some Catholics, some this, some that. It's just everybody. No Jewish people, though. 0.0% Jewish, 0.0% Muslim. The county, it's a rural county. So the county here, last election, 41% Democrat, 47% Republican, but almost 12% independent.
Very interesting.
So that is way higher than a 12% independent is extremely high for anywhere. Unemployment rate here, and we found this a lot in rural Washington, the other ones we've covered too, 6% 6.7%, which
Seems
is
high.
basically double the national average. I don't understand what's happening in rural Washington, but every time we've looked at these northwest rural areas, Seattle, it's no unemployment, but here.
Yet there's fucking homeless people everywhere.
Well, yeah, they're very unemployed.
Really,
it's a different level.
Right. The Pacific
Super
Northwest
unemployed.
just has a lot of homeless.
Yeah,
that doesn't seem like a place I'd want to be homeless.
Well, it's
at.
better than being homeless in Cleveland
Is
or
it?
Detroit.
Well,
you know how fucking cold it is.
I don't
back
know.
there?
You're still wet.
You're wet. I see that in Portland too.
Yeah.
Portland has a lot of homeless people.
It's
but
crazy.
I mean, weather has a lot to do with that.
I would not want to be homeless in either of those places.
I think they look for places that don't get too far below freezing. Not that people are like traveling there. Like, and where would I like to relocate?
It fucking snows in
I'm
Washington.
going to grab my bindle and, I don't think it's one of
I would
those
head
things.
the fuck down to California, Nevada.
Yeah.
I mean, anywhere.
You see homeless people in San Diego.
Yeah.
And
I'm almost like, wow, you've got it made.
Well, let's
you
not say
figured it
that,
out.
but they don't seem quite. I don't know. It's just a different survival due to the elements isn't a pressing concern to you. So, like, you see,
that's why I think that's where it should be.
I saw homeless people in Milwaukee, and I'm like, Jesus,
how do you do it?
How does it happen? How do you do it?
How do you figure this?
Terrible.
That seems harder than a 9-to-5.
Oh, way harder.
Way
yeah.
harder. Holy
shit.
shit.
There's got to be something wrong. So jobs here, normally agriculture, forestry, fishing, and hunting is 1%. Here it's 11.5%.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, there's some outdoor jobs here, way more than normal. Other than that, it's a lot of little shops, retail trade, stuff like that. Even like the healthcare and social assistance stuff is lower than normal. So I don't understand that. Cost of living, 100 being average, regular par. Here it's 96.6. Okay. So it's a little bit high. It's basically on par everywhere with everywhere else. Median home cost $246,900. Their cost of living is a 106 on that. So it's a little higher than average, but not too high. There are a lot of houses though between $100,000 and $200,000.
Really?
There's about 60% of the houses are between $100,000 and $200,000.
That's very fair.
So yeah, there's some shit like that, and we've convinced you that it's that fair, and you need to be there. We have for you the Shelton, Washington Real Estate Report. Your average 2-bedroom rental here goes for $1,003, which is lower than the national average by a couple $100. So renting might be the way to go. I found a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,344 square foot house. Kind of shitty, needs some work, but $166,000. Okay. Well below the average. The thing here, land is cheap. I found a bunch of things. I found 6 acres of forest here for $49,990.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome. I found 0.98 acres, so basically an acre right on the water. Yeah. Right on the water, $50,000.
Really?
Yeah, not bad. I found another one that's like $125,000 for 50 acres. Like you can, Yeah, you can really stretch out here if you want to do some land, pitch your tent, do whatever. I found a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 4,874 square foot, gorgeous, huge property, beautiful, $1,550,000. So. There's some shit houses, and then there's some real expensive houses.
And then there's some land that you can figure out whatever you want on it.
There's a lot of land for sale up there for very reasonable.
That's awesome.
6 acres for $50,000 isn't bad.
That seems like a deal.
That's cheap.
You
can't buy desert for that much in Arizona, and that shit's useless.
Right.
You know what I mean? Here it's
like $40,000 for an acre here.
Yeah, somebody was saying something about land somewhere was $15,000 an acre, and I was like, this is cheaper than that.
Right.
It's crazy. Things to do here: the Mason County Forest Festival. Festival of the Forest. Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's 75 years this has been going on here. The festival has honored the traditions of an industry which is at its very core, forestry.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We got 27 log rides.
That's all it is. It's log rides, chopping, axe swinging, the Paul Bunyan look-alike contest.
And
oh, my God.
Axes.
Oh, my God. What they have is even funnier than that. Never mind. At its roots are generations of families who have nurtured the forest and the business of managing those forests. Every year, those families and friends gather along with visitors from near and far to celebrate those rich historical traditions. From a pet parade to high climbing fun, there's something for every member of your family.
Oh, you get to climb trees.
Let's see here. There's a Saturday fun run, a family and pets parade.
Yeah.
So your kid, your fucking dog, whatever.
Run them all down the street.
Run them all down the middle of the street. Yeah, run with those dogs, you little bastard.
Mine.
The Paul Bunyan parade.
Oh, there's a parade.
There's a parade of Paul Bunyan. So that probably includes a lookalike lookalike
There's
contest.
one, yeah.
They all dress like Paul
Which
Bunyan
one's
anyway.
the best?
That's it. A logging show.
I know what those are. I've seen those
Log,
shits. Yeah.
log.
It is pretty impressive to see two men operate a fucking...
on ESPN, they've had those outdoor games.
the back
but
and forth saw. Those are... I forget what they're called, but whatever.
knows?
It doesn't matter. Don't tweet it at me.
No, we don't know. We don't care.
But they're fascinating to watch.
Yeah. Vendors, a fireworks show, a carnival, a car show, all sorts of shit. And also the Christmastown Market and Tree Maze around Christmas, because they're into that.
Tree maze.
This is how they tree maze, a maze of trees, like The Shining,
like a
except with trees.
corn maze?
Yeah. If you don't, this is how they advertise it. If you don't like Hallmark Christmas movies, stay away from Shelton this Christmas! Exclamation point! Because the whole town's a Hallmark Christmas movie.
Right.
We're celebrating Christmastown, USA, with live music, vendors, crafts, activities, gingerbread house contest, Santa Claus, and a Guinness attempt with a tree lit maze. They're going to go for the biggest tree lit world record here.
Good for you.
Now, crime rate in this town, what we're interested in, obviously, it's striking. Let's just say property crime in this town. I think it's the highest we've ever had. 3 times the national average. You win, crackheads. Just take it. There you go.
Yeah.
You're the champions.
3 times?
3 times.
Wow.
You're the crackiest city we've done so far. Congratulations.
Good Lord.
And then violent crime, murder, rape, robbery, and assault, the Mount Rushmore of crime, is actually just under the national average.
Really?
So, yeah, this is cracky people stealing shit
They're trying to get
drugs.
drugs.
This is some drugs.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well.
Right.
And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back.
Do it.
That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your
all different.
multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there.
Sure, yeah.
Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com. Noom.com, Noom.com here. Based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information.
Bug problem here.
Sure.
So let's talk about a murder.
Okay.
This is a crazy one, man.
Yeah.
We talk about a lot of murders that are, it's kind of fun sometimes. Not fun. Well, I guess it is fun. That's why we do the fucking show. But we'll talk about like regular people.
Yeah.
Hey, these two were married for 15 years and then they had some problems.
And she left and moved to the trailer across the street.
She left.
Of course you're going to lose your fucking mind.
Even that, and I'm not even talking trailer. Sometimes we've had just normal people like Burlingame, Kansas. Think about that guy. Normal guy, just, they got a divorce, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, he's coming to the family house on a holiday to murder everybody.
Kills everybody.
We have that, and we have different type of thing. We have we'll have asshole friends who are like hillbillies and they're drunk, and then one decides to kill another one in the woods. We have all these crazy stories. Then we have the ones that are truly, truly just, what the fuck is that?
Just horrible mental illness instability.
What is that guy? What happened? Where
like the kid that killed the kids and then kept the skulls, and his dad was a police officer.
Exactly. That's Rhode Island.
Yeah, that's insanity.
Yeah, that's insanity.
There's no answer for that.
How do you answer that?
That's
nothing. The problem.
There's no emotion to attach to that behavior.
The vampire pyramid scheme, pocket robbing guy.
No emotion to attach to that. I got nothing.
Just cooked up cat parts and kept birds in his pocket to snack on later. Like,
doesn't make sense.
It's just plain crazy.
Right.
Sometimes people are just plain fucking crazy. Right. And I know, mental illness wise, that's not the.
It's hard to because we aren't doctors.
This isn't regular crazy. Yeah. This is what I mean.
Okay.
People don't want to be like, they don't like the word crazy because it's a label and blah blah blah, and that's fine.
Dismissive.
For regular people who are just walking around and have your issues. We all have our issues, and that's fine. You're not crazy. This is crazy. Okay? That's what I mean. There's a separation between regular crazy that we go, oh, you have a mental illness, and we put a label on it and shit like that and try to help you. And then where we just go, where can we have this person locked away forever? Because they're fucking nuts. Just sorry. They're out of their minds. And this is the situation we have here. So let's talk about a guy named Gary Cameron. Okay. Gary Cameron. Now, by the way, this is probably the least publicized case we've ever done too, which is, and when you hear the details of it, you're like, what, where the fuck are the journalists around here? Somebody, Jesus Christ, was there no newspaper in town? What is happening?
It's a Hallmark movie town, and the guy's last name is Cameron.
Cameron, yeah.
Kirk
like
Cameron
Kirk and Candace and him and his fucking sister there, all of them.
That's amazing.
Jesus Christ. Candace Cameron. I remember that when we were little kids and Full House came out, and they were like, Kirk Cameron's sister's on it. And everyone was like, oh, that must be good then.
Right.
Why did we think that was good when we were 8? Because Mike Seaver was, I guess, funny at the time.
And we didn't know how fucking kooky he was. We didn't know.
We didn't know he was a Jesus nut.
How far into it he
had no clue he was going to be making Left Behind movies for the next 25 years. We had no idea. He was like the dick on the show.
Right.
He was like getting away with shit and like
causing ruckus,
trying to hang out with girls on the sly and sneaking out of his room. He had a friend named Boner.
Right.
Like, you couldn't see Jesus on the horizon.
No,
his dad's a Canadian, for Christ's sake, on the show. I mean, come on.
His dad's a Canadian who in real life has a son that rips off music.
He's got a son who rips off music, and then his on the show kids turned out to be a fucking Jesus freak, an anorexic, the Tracy Gold, all that poor. She had the terror. She went through some tough times, and then a fucking crackhead. The young one's a crackhead who got arrested all the time. He was a fucking
unreal,
like for pills and crack and meth, and he's a fucking disaster.
Where did it all go wrong?
And then somehow Leonardo DiCaprio was the other kid on the show.
He's the good one.
Yeah, he's the one they brought in. It was like, well, we brought him in on purpose.
We needed a fucking somebody go the other way.
I didn't just slip it past Joanna Kern's goalie. always felt like that show. They were like, if only we could get Terry Garr.
I love Terry.
He's not available.
My ex-father-in-law, I guess, gave me a Kirk Cameron movie because he thought it reminded. He watched the movie and thought that the movie, Kirk Cameron's part, reminded him of me. So he gave me the movie
Kirk Cameron
and had me watch it to be better as a person. So I decided to watch the movie.
Be more like Kirk Cameron,
right.
Jimmy.
So I'm going along. Whatever. I'll give it a try.
How old are you?
I was married. I'm in my 30s.
Oh my God, you're an adult? I thought you were like 14 and you're like, fine, I got nothing better to do tonight.
I'm trying to get along with my father-in-law,
no internet.
figuring out a relationship. So I watched the movie. The very first 5 minutes of the movie, Kirk Cameron's character is a piece of shit and like swears out his mother. And I'm like, that's not me. What is this? And then he goes onto his computer and he's just like tugging at internet porn. I'm like, I'm better than that. I tug, but not just in front of everybody.
Was he just like in the living room?
Yeah, he's in his computer room, just
like,
tugging.
Honey, the voice is on. He's like, wait a minute, let me bust this out quick. Hey, sweetheart, turn around. Hold on. Hey, keep the kids out of the kitchen. I'm almost done.
And then at the end of the movie, the guy makes up with his mom. He treats his wife better, and he throws his computer in the trash. And that's like, I'm supposed. What am I supposed to take from this? What am I taking away from
You're
this
a bad
movie?
person, Jimmy. That's what you're supposed to take from it. Get your fucking masturbate. He's like, Jimmy Master. I feel like that means your father-in-law. See, I love when people tell you they remind you of somebody or something, because that says totally about them,
It's
how
all
they
about
project
that. Yeah.
you. It's not anything else. So in his mind, he said, Jimmy's an incessant masturbator. I feel it. I can feel it. I don't know why I know it, but...
And he treats his mother like shit.
He's an incessant masturbator, and I feel like his masturbation is really causing a problem in my daughter's marriage.
Unreal.
Wow.
And then he like makes some new covenant with Jesus and becomes a better person and takes care of his family and stops tugging.
Stops tugging.
Throws the computer. There's
no email? What's he going to do for work now?
There's an enormous scene where he's carrying the tower of the computer out of the house and like throws it in the outdoor bin and then walks back in like a feeling better. Fuck you,
He doesn't even bag it up?
No.
Someone's going to...
Just puts that...
they're going to get all his personal shit off the hard drive. Jesus Christ.
Throws that crime scene in the trash.
Was he tugging the kiddie porn?
I don't know.
I mean, that would make sense, where he's like, I can't do this anymore. If he's just tugging a regular porn...
They're not showing the scenes.
Well, that's true. I mean, he was like, yeah, little girl. Did he say anything like that?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Take it.
You're lost at the mall, aren't you? Nothing of that nature? Okay, good. So it wasn't anything super weird. So he's just regular tugging.
Regular tugging.
Jesus, that's
unreal.
Right. That's just wrong. Yeah, you're
Kirk Cameron sucks.
You project as an incessant masturbator, apparently to family members.
I mean, I do it. It's a thing in my life, but it's not like in front of everybody and like
in the living room.
It's not keeping me from paying my bills.
They're not like Kirk, your grandma's funeral's in 10 minutes. Hold on, I'm almost done. This is a good one. But Kirk,
right?
Wait a minute, all right?
Fine, I'll do it at the funeral. Let's go.
You want that? I'll do it right on the casket. Is that all right? Here you go, Grandma. Something to remember me by.
The bitch told me I had to be here.
Hey,
sorry, everybody.
Sorry, I got a thug. Things I got to do. So Gary Cameron, let's get to him here. This guy, boy, okay. Just start with June 9th, 1980. Okay. Let's start back there. Yeah. Let's go back in time some. June 9th, 1980. Gary is in his 20s at this point. Okay. Gary has got some fucking issues. Mm-hmm. Now, right away, this is not the same size town that we've talked about, because in 1980, there is only about 7,500 people here. So it's a smaller town, a little more rural, just to give you an idea of the whole thing. Pet parades, Paul Bunyan lookalike contests are happening. So, afternoon of June 9th, 1980, a police officer sees Gary Cameron. Yeah. He's walking around downtown Shelton, which we've described as being quaint. Yeah. There's on the hills the Walmart and shit, but downtown is quaint. Right. Yeah, old secondhand bookshop, shit like that. So, you figure it's an afternoon in June. So
sun's up. It's beautiful out.
Nice. It's warm. People walking around, grandmothers and shit walking around. Well, they find old Gary here. Old Gare Bear here. Yeah. By the way, Gary, this guy reminds me so much of on Live PD in Rhode Island. There's this guy they run into all the time named Gary. And every time he'll like pop out of a trailer and they're like, Gary. Oh, hey, Gary. How's it going?
That's not your trailer.
And he stabs out. He's like, you guys know me, right? They're like, we know you, Gary. That's all right. right. He's okay. It's fucking funny. So Gary, this is this town's Gary.
Okay.
Gary Cameron is wandering around downtown. He's looking a bit disheveled anyway in the face. He doesn't quite look all there.
Okay.
Not to mention his outfit is interesting.
Yeah.
No shoes.
None.
At all.
Barefoot.
Just barefoot.
But it's nice.
It's nice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess
Still gross.
maybe he's a hippie.
Yeah.
It's 1980. He
Right.
could just be left over. Who knows?
Yeah.
But when you add in the other things to it, it becomes a little weirder. He's wearing women's stretch pants.
Oh, no.
And a woman's house coat. Like an old lady's house coat.
Like an actual one.
Like an older woman's house coat.
Zipper all the way up.
You know,
or
with the
buttons.
snap
Yeah,
buttons with
yeah.
flower patterns
All the
on
way
it.
down.
And a woman's stretch pants.
Stretch pants.
No shoes, no shirt.
Bizarre.
Wandering around like a young guy.
Yeah.
And he's not like, saying,
Right.
I this is how I feel on the inside.
Right.
That's not what he's doing.
And it's not Macklemore.
This is not a...
He didn't go thrifting today.
He's not gender fluid.
Right.
That's not what we're saying here. This is just... He's just crazy.
Yeah.
That's, he just looks nuts.
This is just what he chose today.
Yeah, so,
Right.
exactly. So a police officer said, "I'll pull over and take a gander at this young man.
Question.
Let's talk to him,
Yeah.
see what he's at least interesting. He's going to
Right.
be someone fun to talk to." So he stopped and questioned.
Yeah.
Now,
I have a question, young man. What the fuck?
why? Just why? Just stand back and go up and down and go, eh?
I'm going to question you.
Anything?
Son. Yeah, what do you got?
What do you got?
Why?
Now, especially too 1980,
Yeah.
you got to think about. Like now, no matter what you see anyone wearing, you never look twice because
No.
people are they wear whatever they want. Who cares?
Yeah.
I don't fucking care.
If
So-
you did,
Yeah.
It's a million CeeLo Greens out there.
We're in the airports constantly.
Yeah.
Our heads would never stop snapping around at crazy people.
So many times I'm going, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? But back then, if you see a guy in a small town with old woman's house coat and lady stretch pants and no shirts
And
no
nothing
shoes,
else.
looking nuts
Yeah.
in the face, you're going to go talk to him.
Yeah.
So now what he does at first, he gives the cop a false name at first, okay? Now right away, that's an arrestable offense.
Yeah.
Giving a false name is obstruction, and they can arrest you just for that.
Yeah.
So they can take you to jail. But he ended up correcting it. That's the thing. The cop was under the impression that he didn't really understand what was going on, and he sort of like he gave a false name, and the cop was like, "You gave this. That's not your right name." And he was like, "Oh yeah, no, it's this."
Yeah.
Like he did like
What are you
Mike.
doing?
He did like my cousin Vinny. Like no, Jerry Callow, not Jerry
Not
Gallo,
Gallo.
not Gallo, Jerry Callow.
Callow with a C.
with a C.
Callow.
Callow, yeah. I feel like it's one of those situations. So
Well, this is going to take me 3 more days.
he ended up correcting it, and they're like, okay. So he gives them the name, and by the way, this isn't. You can't pump it into a national database. It's
Right.
immediately going to come up with a
This is pre.
warrant from Missouri or some shit. This is just you gave him a name, and he went, all right, and then he called it into the station and to see if you have active warrants. That's how it would work back then. I don't think they didn't have computers in their cars in 1980.
I don't
People
even
didn't have computers in their fucking offices then.
Computers didn't even exist.
They were huge.
Yeah,
and they
they
were
were
not
giant.
Yeah,
They were not personal
The
ones.
whole car.
Right.
I can't take the prisoner. I have the computer.
Right. There's no room in the computer for an engine.
Takes up the whole back seat,
Right.
so it's a problem here. So then the cop said, "Okay, that's fine. Interesting the way you're dressed. That's fine. So now we know your name. Want to just tell me, what's up with your outfit, brother?
Yeah.
Where'd you get that? Maybe I'd want something similar. So why you dressed like that,
Yeah.
buddy?
Yeah.
And his
Paul Bunyan didn't look like that.
yeah, this is my take on Paul Bunyan. This is the way I see him.
Yeah.
See, some people see Jimmy as an incessant, horrible masturbator who's mean to his mother. And you see me as this. So he says that he's dressed this way, quote, because I just grabbed what I could. My mother-in-law turned vicious.
Oh.
That's what he said.
Okay.
That's his only explanation. Grabbed what I could. Mother-in-law turned vicious. So cop's like, all right, mother-in-law, I guess,
Threw him out.
got mad at him, and he just grabbed what he could and got out of the house because he didn't want to deal with her. Fine.
Okay.
I feel like the cop's like, he's trying to see if this guy is okay to be on the streets, but he really doesn't want to deal with him. So he's just like, yeah, all right, that's a fine enough answer.
Right.
So you're doing this, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Get
good.
the acceptable answer and move along.
That's it. He also says that he is headed for California, Gary Campbell says. He goes, I'm on my way to California with no shoes or a
Right.
shirt and a house coat and stretch pants.
This is how I get in there.
Going to California via downtown Shelton.
Right.
So, it's through Oregon, the whole deal. Just going to wander on down there. So the officer, though, he has no reason to detain him at this point. He gave a false name, but then he corrected it, so he already let that go.
Yeah.
And he's not yelling at anyone or punching anyone. He just seems like a fucking guy who's a little wacky.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? It's Washington. Sometimes people are weird.
Save for a couple blisters. I guess you could make it to California.
I suppose, or you can hitchhike, which is what he said he's going to do. He goes, well, I'm going to hitchhike to California. And then he's like, all right, well, I guess that's fine.
Best of luck.
The officer lets him go, says, all right, well, have a good one. Salute, fucker. Enjoy. And lets him go on his hitchhiking way, and the cop drives away, and that's it. Later on that evening, though, they make a discovery. Not this particular police officer, but another police officer makes a discovery when a woman named Marie Cameron, you might recognize that last name as his last name. This is his stepmother.
Okay.
This is his stepmother, Marie Cameron. But she's supposed to do things today and didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And no one can find her. So
that's so close to calendar, by the way.
Marie Calendar. Yeah. She makes a mean pie.
I don't know how you get Marie Cameron through your lips so easily. Every time you say Marie, I'm going calendar.
Marie Calendar. Calendar.
The best pies.
Their pies are shit.
To make it home, though,
Their
so
pies are
great.
shit.
Oh.
The fucking frozen Sara Lee pies are better than Marie
Well,
Callender's.
they're both the same.
Have you ever been to a Marie Callender's? It's like an old lady's living room.
It's awful.
Fucking terrible in
but
there.
in the grocery store, I like their
they're frozen like pot pies.
That's what I mean.
You know what? I'll eat one of those.
The frozen, anything
those
is
are
theirs
fucking
that you
good.
can make at home.
You're absolutely right. Those frozen dinners are good.
Yeah.
You can tell Jimmy and I are just disgusting trash. We're discussing what.
And you can tell
dinners
we've
have
been divorced.
And we've been divorced, and we've eaten bad food,
and found what's edible.
Have been poor. That's the other thing, and been very poor a lot of differerent times. So you can see what.
And found the edible poor people food.
I can give you a detailed review of every frozen dinner there is. That's the thing.
That's
everything.
That's a bonus episode we're doing.
That is a bonus of every. Our bad food reviews. That would be a good bonus episode. At the end of every month, we do take up all of our food experiences from the road from that month and do a fucking episode on the crazy
table.
food shit
Here's
that happened
the shitholes. Here's the decent ones.
Yeah.
We're yet to find good ones.
It's very rare. Once in a while, we'll find an experience. Right. Atlanta, we were like, oh, it's heaven here.
Look at this. You can smoke in here.
Oh, what a great restaurant that was.
Not now.
Today.
Yesterday was the last day.
I hope you enjoyed Atlanta.
It was
hope you
great.
enjoyed eating a big steak and then sitting back and smoking a cigarette and feeling good. Now you got to go outside in the humidity.
It's a good time to get off an airplane and have a layover and then be like, oh, look, I can stay inside. I don't have to go through security.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That's wonderful.
That's over now.
God forbid.
It's over.
God forbid you herd people into a disgusting little room anyway. I can't have that.
I'm not affecting
It's too
you.
good for them. Clog up security more. That's what we need to do.
Do you see the smiles? Fuck them.
We need people. There's not enough people going through security. We need to clog that line. Can we make it slower? That big group of people there, send them outside and then back in. That's how we'd like it to work.
And don't tell me to quit, because fucking no.
Yeah. Well, quitting is fine. That's fine. But when you're on the road,
eventually.
And when you're on the road too, you got to understand smoking is spotty.
Yeah.
And when you're,
don't make me quit because it's inconvenient.
The road and shows they make you smoke sometimes. It's just one of those things you can't fucking
so hard.
We can't help it because we're running and we're stressed and then there's things that happen and we end up smoking outside. And neither of us want to, and we do anyway.
It's not my favorite thing in the world.
We shame smoke outside.
I feel like a piece of shit.
Right there.
Right. I feel like an angry Frenchman.
Yeah. Why? I come outside to smoke. You tell me come outside, I come outside. Nah.
Why? You got to search my bag.
They searched my bag. I say, why? They search again.
Fuck.
Oh, boy. So, the Marie Calendar here is missing. So, Marie Cameron, they can't find Marie Cameron. Mm-hmm. So, by the way, in case you haven't noticed, we're going to have we're just kind of going off the reservation, having some fun in this episode because it's like New Year's week and no one's going to fucking listen to this episode. Not no one, but less people listen to this episode. So, there's 3 episodes a year where we feel we're going to fuck around and have some fun. Yeah. These are for us.
Yeah. This one's for me.
This is for us. You got 50 over the course of the year for you. This one's for us. Fuck off.
I'm a bitch that I can't smoke in the Atlanta airport.
That's right. You don't like it? Tune in next week. I don't know what to tell you. We'll be back to normal. We'll be back to being on track. So they go to look for Marie Cameron, his stepmom, and they can't find her. Mm-hmm. They knock on her door, no answer. So they end up doing a well check on her and busting in the door here. And what they find is pretty fucking horrific. They look through, no signs of her in the living room, kitchen, anywhere. Finally, they get to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And inside the bathtub they find Marie, and it is a horror scene. Marie, at the time they find her, has a knife protruding from her heart.
It's still there.
Stuck in her chest, right where her heart is, sticking out.
God
so,
damn.
I mean, it's like right there.
Yeah.
Now, that would be horrible enough if that was the wound. She's also been stabbed 96 other times. 97 times she's been stabbed.
And the final one goes and just left in.
Left it there.
Right.
So 97
That's a lot.
times. We've done in our show a lot of stabbing. People gone crazy. And we're like, oh, how do you stab 56 times?
Right.
97.
Right.
Just do that with your arm.
Right.
And do it. And I'm not just talking move your arm up and down. Do it hard enough to penetrate flesh, bone, tendon, fucking
to get in a person,
cartilage, to get in a person. Do that 97.
You have to be mad. You can't do it
times.
There's no way to do it outside of you. There has to be fuel.
I don't even. Yeah, that's. I mean, I don't even feel like a person could be that angry.
Right.
Even if someone did the most harm, if someone killed your child, I feel like even then, after 50, you'd be like, well, this person's unrecognizably stabbed now. 50 stab wounds is a lot, and Jesus, am I tired?
Yeah.
Whew, I think I did it.
I can't breathe.
97 is like, I don't even know what they would have had to do to you. That's crazy shit.
So much.
And she's in the bathtub, 97 stab wounds, knife sticking out. No, obviously no attempt to conceal anything. Just shit everywhere.
I mean, with 97, it's hard to hide that.
That's what I mean. Yeah. It's a mess. So they're trying to find out from family members who's been around, and they find out that Gary was there, and then they also find out from the police officer that they found Gary wandering around the streets, dressed a little weird and acting funny later on that day. So, like, we'd really like to talk to old Gar here and find out what he has to say. So they end up actually finding him the next day,
California,
in Oregon.
Oh, he's close.
Well, he's moving
on his
in
way
that direction.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2 hours from Portland, this place, like we said. So he was wandering along the shoulder of the I-5 near Salem, Oregon. The Oregon State Police found him.
Wow.
So he
just took the freeway and started walking.
Hitchhiking.
Yeah.
He's hitchhiking. So whoever, I don't know who's picking up a guy.
Not me.
Who the fuck is picking that guy up?
Nope.
From what I understand, like, it's not just his dress. It's he looks different as far as, like, you could look at his eyes and go, that guy ain't right.
Right.
So
wiry hair sticking up
that's
everywhere.
what I'm saying. Yeah, no attempt to care for himself, and I mean, shit like that. So I don't know who's giving him rides, but somebody must have been giving him rides. Back then too, I mean, from 1980, you still had leftover hippies that'd give anybody a ride, which is,
such a bizarre fucking thing. I can't imagine letting a stranger in my car.
The 70s.
Ever.
And especially now, 1980 was like after the serial killer thing like happened. Like,
it started.
Hitchhiking was the most dangerous thing.
It was really taking your life in your own hand every single time.
Well, there was just somebody, you could just drive, you were a murderer, you could just be perusing down the freeway like you're shopping.
Right.
And this person's just going to get right in your car.
Right.
You just pull over. All you have to do is, you don't have to convince them of anything. Where to? And they say, I'm going here. You go, that's where I'm going too. Hop on in. That's it. Done. Sold. Holy shit.
All you got to say is me too, and they're in.
I mean, that's crazy.
Wow.
I mean, no wonder why there was so many murders of hitchhikers back then. And now it's a little less hitchhiking. You rarely see people hitchhiking now.
It's if I ever see it, I go, sure you are. You're not really doing that. It's a joke.
The people you see now are not, like, back then, normal people. You'd see normal people hitchhike. Some kid with a guitar case back in, like,
his thumb out.
Back in the, the 70s or something. Now it's like, just, wow, what happened to that motherfucker? And they're just standing there with a fucking thumb out and, like, everything they own and, like, a torn box at their feet. And you're like, whoa.
My daughter's 9. Anytime we're walking
happening
down the street somewhere, she sticks her thumb out and laughs, ha ha, like she's joking.
Yeah.
Like, cars are going by and she's got her thumb out and she's laughing because she's really not. But if a car stopped, I'm sure she would run. I hope. I swear
so.
to Christ,
Jesus
I pray
Christ.
she would run.
No, she wouldn't go, yay, finally worked.
But we giggle
in.
that's a fucking, that was a thing. I don't even know where she saw it or why she thinks it's so goddamn funny.
A movie of some kind.
I'm telling you, it's the funniest thing she's ever heard when she does it. She
people just
she
walk
dies
around
laughing.
It's fucking crazy. So, well, he's doing it. Gare here is wandering around. I love calling him Gare for some reason. Gare. Because you want to go Gare.
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 Yeah.
Come on, buddy. Come on, Gary.
That's my favorite short for any name, Gare.
Gare.
It's so good.
Gare.
Gare.
Come on, Gare. So,
it's always talking down to him. Every time.
No, every time.
Yeah.
Now, at this point in time, he is wearing stretch pants and he's wearing a house coat, but he's acquired one shoe.
He's got one.
At some point, he picked up a shoe.
Happened to be the right size.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
Probably, I assume, bigger than he wore. At
right.
least. So
this foot doesn't hurt anymore.
I don't know if he switched it back and forth for keep it comfortable or what. Left, now we're going right. But they stop him and they go, okay, one shoe's crazier than no shoes.
It is.
No shoes is like, maybe they're a hippie, maybe they just don't like shoes. Some people you see people walking around. I see fucking women in the grocery store with no shoes on them. Like,
there's a guy that lived in Payson that used to be on a TV show. Right, that's fucking get the fuck out.
There's the fucking door.
Fuck out of here.
I will grab you by your bun and drag you out. You fucking no. And if it's a guy with no shoes,
I'll punch him.
Tase him immediately.
I'll fight him right now.
Immediately. I don't even I hate those fucking tase. Yeah. Tase him and drag him from the store and yell at him while you're tasing him more.
There's a guy that was on a reality show in northern Arizona. I don't remember what show it was. It was like one of the fucking Naked and Afraids or whatever. Yeah. But that's his thing, is that he doesn't wear, he lives his life with no shoes. And his feet unbelievably calloused, and he can walk on anything.
Well, yeah, because those are shoes now.
15 years of no shoes. Yeah,
that's the thing.
He has Goodyear feet.
Yeah, feet by Michelin.
Right. He doesn't need tires. They're real tires.
It's perfect. No, I have a snow tread on here, actually. It's good for
winter.
Are
all season.
I'm going to move up north. I put chains on come November. But, yeah. You need them sometimes.
It's pretty good.
Works. So this guy, like I said, no shoes. You might think it's that guy. Maybe he's a hippie. Maybe he's whatever. Who knows? Maybe he's just really poor. Who knows? One shoe says crazy.
Wild.
You have two shoes or no shoes. Right. You don't have one shoe.
I don't want to talk to the guy with one shoe.
One shoe is crazy. Yeah. That's literally, I think, the craziest thing you could wear is one shoe. I'm trying to think of what makes you seem crazy. Right. You could have a big Napoleon hat on. Right. You'd go, maybe he's eccentric. Right. One shoe is like, where'd he escape from? Right. What's wrong with this person?
Who's supposed to watch him?
Literally, yeah. What, did he get beat up? Did he wander away from a car accident? Is he like... Something bad happened.
That might be the most logical explanation. Where's the car that he was traveling in?
That's what I mean.
And where's the family that's burning alive?
Yeah, that his shoes got caught back in there. What? Because no one leaves the house and goes, got my shoe on, all right, and walks out.
Got my good shoe
on. No one puts one shoe on. He's like, I only need one. Like they're an old Rich Carless or something. It's an old Bronco reference for you. It's a barefooted kicker. That's the only other time if you're like a 70s or 80s NFL field goal kicker or a crazy person.
That's all it is.
So since he's wearing stretch pants and one shoe, the police assumed he was an escapee from a nearby mental hospital.
Good
assumption. They said he must have escaped from the hospital.
Obviously.
Look at him.
Right.
So they let's keep him in the back of a car for a minute and find out if that's what it is. So they start calling it in, and they find out that actually he is wanted in Shelton, Washington, for questioning for the 97 stab wounds.
Yeah.
So they're like, we're happy to give him back to you.
Yeah.
You can have him.
Well, maybe you guys will help solve the case of where his other fucking shoe is.
Yeah, out of the state. Yeah. Thank you. We're not dealing with him. So they take him in. They arrest him, actually, and inform him, give him his Miranda rights and everything like that. Right away, he says, well, I'd definitely like to talk about it, obviously. I mean, I'd like to say anything I can.
Yeah.
What, anything. I'm up for it. So they sit him down. The one-shoed man speaks here, and he gave two different confessions.
Did he sit down in what he's wearing?
Oh, yeah.
Or did they book him in and put him in a pair of shoes?
And put him in.
Yeah.
Actually, no. When they first brought him in, they're not going to book him in and send him in. They're going to bring him in and try to question him.
Right.
Well, I mean, they're going to arrest him, but they're going to question him immediately so he doesn't get too comfortable. They want to get something out of him. Okay. So, yeah, I'm sure he's sitting there with one shoe on. Fucking, shackled to the desk.
Unreal.
So, wow. The first one is a tape-recorded confession, and the second one is a signed written confession, okay? Now, in his oral confession here, he says that he was living, as he put it, in or about the home of his father and stepmother. So basically he's been kind of, I think he's one of these people who shows up sometimes and then wanders away for 5 days and then he'll pop back in again, and he has his good weeks and his bad weeks and shit like that. I think he's one of those people where, you know, he's a little out there. Now, he said he left home. His house was where his father and stepmom lived, dressed like he was because his stepmother had become violent. Now, he told the other cop his mother-in-law had become violent. But now,
a different relation.
Yeah, there is no mother-in-law here. He's not married. He doesn't have a mother-in-law.
Right.
So he said his stepmother had become violent. Now, his statement, we really got to take apart very carefully here because it's interesting. Okay. His first sentence that he starts out with, this is on the oral confession. They say, why, what happened? And he goes, okay. Quote, she's into different types of sorcery.
Okay.
That's where he's starting. One shoe, side of the road, different 97 stab wounds. She's into different types of sorcery. So you can just see
how many?
The homicide detective sitting there like leaning forward with their notebooks just went, huh? Lean back in his chair like it's going to be a long fucking day.
That's where we're starting?
Starting with sorcery. Yeah. Okay. Oh, boy. Okay. Then he says, quote, she's just strictly a very evil person. And she became very violent with me with a knife in her hand. And so he said, I don't deny that I'm the one that did what went on out there.
Oh, boy.
And that's what he says. That's a quote. I don't deny that I'm the one that did what went on out there.
We got to be specific.
Yeah. What he said, well, he gets real specific. He says that he walked into the bathroom and he didn't see... He was in there and he didn't expect her to pop in. He said she popped into the bathroom and had a knife in her hand. That's what he said. And it startled him. He didn't expect to see her there. So he immediately grabbed her because he was startled. That was the way he said. He said that he was able to take the knife away from her easily because she's not that strong. And that he said he bent her wrist back and took the knife away from her. So he just grabbed her and overpowered her, grabbed the knife away from her. You know, which... if she was going in there with a knife to stab him, is fine. You can do that. You obviously can defend yourself. And
an apple in the other hand.
That's the problem.
Right.
Yeah, who knows? If she was just like, I'm making chicken tonight. Ow! You know what I mean? Like she's out there cutting shit, parting out a fucking bird.
Right. Should I make a section for you?
Yeah. Would you like a leg or ow? Who knows what happened here? So, he says that he took it. He said then he took the knife and then he says, quote, I took the knife and really stabbed her.
Yeah.
Really stabbed her. I don't know what
not fake stabbed her?
As opposed to just, you know, I was kind of half-hearted.
A little.
I'm going to be honest with you. My heart wasn't into it.
Right.
I was stabbing her, but I mean, I
wasn't really into it.
It's one of those things like you're just with somebody you're not into anymore. And you're like, you know what, man, this is over. And it's just not, it's one of those things. That's how it felt. He then said, quote, I just kept stabbing her and stabbing her because she wasn't feeling.
Oh, good Lord.
I don't know what that means. This is what I mean. His statements are so out there that you have to put them into a mental state and kind of try to figure out, because on their own, they're really out there. He said, I just kept stabbing her and stabbing her because she wasn't feeling. And then he gives a long pause, like he's trying to gather his thoughts and figure it out. Like what he's saying is she wasn't, I guess, feeling like she was dying because he says, quote, it was as if she was laughing. Oh. He's stabbing her and stabbing her because he says he feels like she's enjoying this, is what he's saying now. He says as if she was up to something that morning, and I don't know, he said. Then he takes a long pause. Now, right away, if you're this cop, let's just go over it real quick. Just his quote. She's into different types of sorcery.
Right.
She's strictly an evil person. She became very violent with me with a knife in her hand. I don't deny that I'm the one that did it. I was in there. She came up to me. I bent her wrist back. I took the knife easily and I really stabbed her. I just kept stabbing her and stabbing her because she wasn't feeling. It was as if she was laughing. Okay. That's what he's saying. So they're like, okay.
That doesn't make any sense.
So then he says, as if she was laughing, as if she was up to something that morning, and I don't know. And then he takes a long pause and he says, quote, she plays around with witchcraft and that stuff.
Okay.
So that's
so maybe she was
putting
parting
some
out
sort
a
of
chicken to get the leg off of it, cause a fucking spell on me. Maybe she put one on herself that this knife tickles, so I gotta keep stabbing.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
what the
he's
fuck?
basically, well, he's going to elaborate a little bit more. Don't worry. That's not all he's going to say. He's going to say a lot more. He said that the last place he saw her was in the bathtub, and he said that, quote, she just kept moving and moving and moving and kind of grabbed me like this, but laughing as if she was enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I don't think he knows what these emotions are.
That's what I mean. That's how crazy he is, that someone struggling for their life in fear, he thinks of as some sort of like game that's laughing. He doesn't get it. No. He's fucking out there. Then he says, and it was kind of sickening. Well, I would fucking hope so.
It should. There was blood everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
All over everything.
All over you.
You, the room, her. She's stabbing 97 times. You have a lot of time to think about it. It takes a long time to stab someone 97.
Count to 97.
That's what I mean. Stab, stab, stab.
3, 4, 5,
That's
6,
a lot.
7, 8.
My arm's tired, and I don't even have a knife, and I haven't even plunged through fucking cartilage.
We're already
it's a lot. I'm still stabbing.
Into this.
I'm still stabbing.
It's a lot
of stabbing. And you have time to think about it. Playoffs start this week. That's pretty cool. I really hope New England loses. I'm glad they're the number 3 seed because fuck them.
And why didn't they put Minnesota and the Philadelphia Eagles into that video? It doesn't make any sense.
Really weird, right?
Why would they not be rooting for them?
By the way, I'm
still
stabbing. It's still going.
Wow.
This is how much stabbing there is.
That's a lot.
You can keep stabbing. I didn't even do 97.
No. You were probably in the 50s.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And you sitting there literally going, what am I going to do today? You do some banking.
Right.
You can think about, oh, fuck, I got to pay my insurance. Like, that's
this lady's name is real close to Marie Callen.
Isn't that weird? I kind of want pie. That sounds good. I'm going to put on a house coat and some stretch pants. 97 times. So...
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about a healthy, delicious item, Hero Bread. And we're both trying to get healthier this new year. Jimmy had a eye-opening doctor's appointment and things like that. So we're trying to get healthier, and I'm telling you right now, this Hero Bread is a good step in this direction. It's delicious, and it is really good for you, and it's really excellent. They have the sliced bread is good, the bagels, the tortillas. I know you've been
they're terrific.
Ranting about the tortillas. They're so good. With Hero Bread, you can focus on your health goals and still indulge in the soft, fluffy experience you love, but guilt-free. I really love the little Hawaiian rolls, too.
Yeah.
They're so good. They're so good. The Hawaiian rolls, they're legit. They're fluffy. They're exactly how you want them to be. You'd never know it's low-carb and high-fiber bread from the texture. You get the soft, fluffy experience you know and love with your savory breakfast sandwich, late-night grilled cheese, Taco Tuesday. Do it. No compromises, just flavor, ultra-low net carbs, 0 grams of sugar, high in fiber. It's fantastic. Hero Bread is offering 10% off your order. Go to hero.co and use the code SmallTownMurder at checkout. That's SmallTownMurder at HERO.co.
And now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you all sorts of good stuff about Chime. That's what I'm talking about. There's so many extra fees you have to pay in life. Everything. You go to the airline, there's an extra ticket on that. There's extra fee on every fees and fees, hotels, fees, all this type of stuff. We're trying to make progress, and the next thing you know, here comes another fee coming at you, and it's more money than you expected, and your whole math is thrown off, and it's awful. Learn more at chime.com/smalltownmurder. Chime is great with that stuff. I mean, you can't beat if your things are a little tight, especially around the holidays or after the holidays. You need that money a couple days early, or you go grocery shopping, you got a car payment due, there's so many things that don't cross over exactly how you want them to cross over. Make progress toward a better financial future with Chime. Open your account in 2 minutes at chime.com/smalltownmurder. That's chime.com/smalltownmurder. Feels like progress. Banking services and debit cards provided by Bancorp Bank N.A. or Stride Bank N.A., members FDIC. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Boosts are available to eligible Chime members enrolled in Spot Me and are subject to monthly limits. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Fees apply at out-of-network ATMs.
And now back to the show.
He said it was sickening, but it was really maddening to me because of her offense toward me. That's what he said. So
Okay, the other he says weird things and puts descriptive words on things that don't strictly an evil person.
Strictly an evil person.
That doesn't make sense.
No, he's trying to. Yeah, I think he's trying to find words that make him sound.
He's trying to describe things that to make it sound like somebody that deserved what that punishment is.
He says because of her offense toward me.
Right.
So that's why it was really maddening, because he's trying to stab her to get, to show her that he's mad at her, but then she's laughing at it.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Sickening.
Sickening. He says, quote, it was like, it was almost like she was mechanical. Wow, you're not seeing a human being as a human being, bro. No. I mean, you think they're laughing when you're stabbing them, and then you think it's like mechanical.
It's not recognizing emotions or human at all.
No, that's what I mean. He's totally disconnected from something. Right. Quote, I mean, the thing was set up that's what she wanted to happen. Whoa. That's what he said.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing was set up that's what she wanted to happen. I feel that deep inside that she was asking someone to put her out of her misery. Okay, now. This is where we get into this is where the crazy comes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's here.
It's here. It's on the door. Yeah. It's knocking. We're about to open it and
it's clad in one shoe.
We're about to invite him open and say there's a pot of coffee going. Come on in. Would you like a charcuterie tray?
Tell us more.
This is what we have going on here. Okay. I feel that deep inside she was asking someone to put her out of her misery. Then he takes a long pause, looks at them, and he says, quote, she was very symbolic with the scarlet whore beast.
I don't know what that means.
What the?
But why do you put...
The scarlet whore beast.
What is that?
Oh, the fuck knows what the scarlet whore beast
Well, it was symbolic.
The scarlet whore beast? What?
Is that a period?
I believe so. Yeah. That's what women call their period. Right. Dastardly scarlet whore beast has visited me again.
Oh boy, oh boy.
She was very symbolic with the scarlet whore beast.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is.
If you're a fucking police detective.
What the fuck is talking?
You have to pick your kid up after school. You're like, the scarlet whore beast.
Dance tonight.
What the fuck?
This is going to take forever.
So just to again, we pause and we stop. So, quote, she just kept moving and moving and moving and kind of grabbed me like this, but laughing as if she was enjoying. And it was kind of sickening, but it was really maddening to me because of her offense toward me. Mm-hmm. It was like, it was almost like she was mechanical. I mean, the thing was set up that's what she wanted to happen. I feel that deep inside she was asking somebody to put her out of her misery. She was very symbolic with this scarlet whore beast.
Okay. That's a fascinating... Oh boy!
How does any of this?
What do you, as a cop, do you just go? We got to get a specialist, right?
We got to get a doctor, right? He's out of his fucking.
We're gonna let him talk, and then we're gonna take all these words, throw those into court, right? Because we're not gonna do.
What are we gonna do with this guy?
We don't have anything to do with this anymore, right?
Yeah, this is beyond the law at this point, right?
I'm a cop. I'm not a.
We need.
I write tickets sometimes.
Not a doctor.
I don't do this.
Yeah, this is beyond the realm of
too much. This is above my pay grade.
We're out of legal and into medical now.
Right.
This is fucking medical grade crazy we have going on here.
I need more money in education for this.
Yeah. So she was very much symbolic with the scarlet whore beast. Okay. She was very much into sorcery. Very anti-God, he says. Not really anti-God, but takes the God's truth and twists it into sorcery. Oh, so I had to stab her. Right. So I can go now, right?
Right.
Yeah. Because, I mean...
Case closed.
Who wouldn't have done that? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Is that what he's doing? He's trying to spin to, this is his defense?
No, he's just telling... This is his explanation
now
of why he did
it. Get it.
He's like, understand now? I mean, right? And then you put on one shoe, right? Yeah. We all get it. Okay, good. Have a good one, guys.
I had to grab what I had to grab.
I'm going to the Walmart
because she was vicious.
You know how it goes. Right. Scarlet whore beast. Right. We all haven't encountered the scarlet whore beast from time to time, obviously. Whoa. So he says. He also says, quote, I felt confused. Yeah. She twists it into sorcery.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. He takes God's stuff and twists it into her own.
All right. So she's Joel Osteen?
Yes, I believe so. She's Joel Osteen. She's going to have 30,000 people giving her money in a giant church
She takes
on Sunday.
The Bible and twists it to benefit her.
Twist it to mean, you should give me money.
Electric blue carpet.
You know how that works. I need nicer suits.
And a bigger private helicopter.
And fucking shinier veneers. So
most in the closet son of a bitch.
Oh, I can't wait.
I can't wait till it comes out.
Wait till he gets found at a truck stop with like an 8-ball of meth and like 3 different underage male prostitutes all polishing his nutsack. I can't wait for that.
Semen dripping off his
face from all 3 of them. I can't wait for that.
I want it so bad.
Oh God, I want him to be perp walked.
I hate him.
Oh God.
He's a tiny person, right? He's a little guy. He's got to be, right?
Fucking who knows? I mean, like, who can tell?
My point is, like, the cops on the perp walk are going to be bent over, holding the handcuffs.
Yeah. Come on, little guy, let's go. Now people are going to be tweeting. Joel Osteen's actually 6'5". It's a power forward for Loyola Marymount. Jeez, yeah, he probably is. Yeah. So he said, quote, "I felt confused." Clearly, I would say. "I felt no different from the beginning than the end. There was no difference." Mm-hmm. So he didn't feel relief, I guess, from stabbing her 97 times. He's from the same feeling from the beginning to end. He said, quote, "Legally," now he's getting into, now he knows the law. He says, "Legally, I know that's against the law."
Right.
Okay, so I get that, guys.
But,
and the next word is but.
Yeah.
Whenever anybody says legally, I know that's not legal.
Yeah.
But that means they've done something horrible.
Here's where it is legal. Go on.
That like when on Live PD or Cops or any television show ever, when a cop goes, "Do you have anything illegal in your car?" And he goes, "Not that I know of." Right. That means yes, you do. It means I got a lot of stuff in the car.
There's a ton of shit back there.
I got drugs, possibly a gun. But I'm not sure.
It's not mine.
Maybe not mine. He's already setting up his defense before it's even found. I don't know.
Not to my knowledge.
Not to my knowledge. Well, is it your car? Yeah, but I mean, who knows? I've given people rides before. I mean, obviously they could have planted a .45 caliber handgun and a bunch of crack rocks under my seat. Clearly, I mean, it could happen. Don't your friends do that?
This is a .45 caliber and a bunch of crack rocks, sir.
My friends.
What did I tell you?
I told my friends they're jokesters. That's what it is. They're pranksters.
I told you, copper.
Hey, fuckers. So, Jesus Christ. He said, legally.
Yeah.
I know that's against the law to stab someone 97 times. But as far as right and wrong in the eye of God, I would say I've done no particular wrong.
Oh, boy.
I would say I've purged the witch.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're going to be honest here.
Right. Remember Salem?
Scarlet Whore Beast?
Right.
Come on. Who hasn't encountered the Scarlet Whore Beast, guys?
At least I didn't burn her alive.
And I'm finally was the one that had the balls to kill the Scarlet Whore Beast.
Right.
You fucking people have been letting them wander for centuries now. So, they said, okay, we understand. That's Scarlet Whore Beast and God and terrific. Then what happened? Let's get to the details and get out of your crazy for a minute. And, cause I think also the cops know the crazier he sounds on this confession, the less likely it is he's going to be convicted of a crime.
Yeah.
So I think they want to get him on logistics and off of Scarlet Whore Beasts and sorcery and that
get him
kind
out
of
of
shit.
the crazy realm and get him into reality.
That's the thing. Well, then he goes, in a little more detail because 97 stab wounds isn't all he did. By the way. Oh no. What do you think he's going to leave it alone in 97 stab wounds? Quote, "I washed the blood off me and I changed clothes," which explains his outfit. Of course, he lives there. He should have other clothes. Then I looked back at her and she was still moving around. No, she wasn't.
No way.
No, 97 stabs. And the last one was literally embedded in her heart.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't near her heart.
It was in it.
They pulled the knife out of her heart.
Oh, God.
It stabbed right through the heart in the last one and several other times too. So she said, he said, still moving around after being stabbed, what I thought was in the heart and the throat. He thought he did a good job.
Yeah.
He says, about 7 or 8 times in both those areas. Like he didn't understand it.
Fuck.
Yeah, and he says, and she just kept moving. He just got frustrated. Can you imagine doing this?
It was tickling her.
She was laughing.
Right.
That's what I mean. This is to do this is. I mean, it's dark, and to not feel like, disgusted about it is even more
and
dark.
To see and react to something that's not really happening like that.
Yeah. Even Ted Bundy was like ashamed of what he did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even when he told that guy, he had to whisper it in third person.
Right.
Well, if that guy did this, you know what I'm saying? Like even he couldn't say, well, I fucking stabbed her.
Right.
I don't know. She kept moving around. Scarlet Whore Beast and everything. I tied her to a tree, fucking raped her again.
And Jeffrey Dahmer, anytime he said it all and then they repeat it back, back, he'd be like, isn't it fucking...
I know, he'd be like, I don't know.
Can you gather it? Because I fucking
You'd see him
can't gather
shaking
it.
his head when they would say it. Like,
he's like,
whoa,
I
like,
know.
like they're telling you about somebody else. And he's like, that sounds like a sick bastard. Yeah, it is. You.
He's like, I can't believe that.
Fuck, man. Yeah, then there's the others. Or I think BTK would have loved to talk about this.
He's the only one who loved it.
He's a... Man.
All the others, it seems like, were like, they wanted to deny it because they know that there's shame in it.
They know.
Right.
They knew
what they did, but there's also shame in it. But
BTK was
BTK's
sick.
like, he fucking loved
Out
it.
of every serial killer, we've not covered on the show because they're not small towns, but we've both extensively looked at these serial killers. That's the sickest.
By far.
To me, he's the sickest motherfucker out there.
Stand in, like the other guys did it in rooms with investigators. He stood in a courtroom with a fucking gallery of people, and he's just like, and at that point, I went ahead and strangled him.
Well, the way he did it, his whole position of I'm going to be, he was just the biggest asshole of anybody. And in addition
I
to
hung
being
the
worst.
daughter over the pipe, and then at that point, I masturbated on her body.
So that's how you do it, right?
Yeah. So.
That and the fact that he was like just a fucking church asshole, like not that people go to church are assholes, but he was like that churchy asshole.
Right.
He was that asshole.
Holier than thou.
Yeah.
He would give people Kirk Cameron movies.
That's what I mean. Exactly. He'd be like, here you go. Change your masturbating ways.
Figure out your life.
You're supposed to kill children and masturbate on them, not to the internet. Jesus Christ. Fucking slackers. Yeah. These kids nowadays are just lazy, I tell you. They're lazy. They just get on the internet for what you'd have to get out there and get your hands dirty to do.
So what the fuck else did he do to her?
Okay, well, he says about 7 or 8 times she just kept moving.
Yeah.
He said, quote, it was like there was a smile on her face. She kept lunging for me. Quote, she kept lunging for me. Then he says she kept lunging for me while she was dead.
No.
While she was dead. I wasn't trying to be vicious, he said. It would look that way. Yeah. Clearly, but that wasn't the intent. She kept lunging at me over and over and over again, and the nature of her attack was I'm mad enough. I wanted to kill her. That's what he says. I was mad enough. I wanted to kill her. I felt I was justified in self-defense at that point. Yeah. Because you started killing her, and she was apparently not taking well to it and was, lunging at you while she was dead. Obviously that was self-defense at that point. I mean, obviously. Yeah. So he said, quote, the last I saw of the knife, he said, quote, I tried to stick it in her heart. She's some kind of animal. Mm-hmm. That was the last thing he said. She's some kind of animal. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. That's the first statement there, which that had to leave the detectives like, we're going to take a 5.
Yeah.
We're going to go take a 5.
Put you in a cell. I'm going to go bleach my brain.
You stay right here. Right. I'm going to get a cup of coffee. I'm going to call my children. Right. Make sure they're okay.
Tell them I fucking
Tell them I love them.
Oh, boy.
Call my mom. Just going to get myself settled. I might go to church. I don't know. I might go and come back quick. I'm not sure.
This might take a week is what I'm telling you, but
hang tight is what I'm getting at.
I gotta get better.
I gotta really figure out what the fuck I'm doing. So then he's like, because obviously she was like an animal. They're like, okay. Yeah. He feels like he needs to explain more. And then he says, look, she's very strong she's into a very strong sorcery trip. Mm-hmm. He's trying to explain, like, dude, she's alive. She's a devil person trying to lunge at me. Well, I stabbed the devil out of her. Yeah. Like, fuck, man. Don't you get this? Right. The fuck? How much do I have to explain to you fucking people before you understand? He says that's why she's very strong into a very strong sorcery trip, and that's why so many stab wounds. Yeah. He says I'm not a goring sick person. No. Obviously, I've never been violent in my life, but for some reason there was some evil spirit behind her that was, I don't know, it was like there was something within her that wasn't really part of her body. She was smiling. She was almost like enjoying playing, and it was disgusting. That was disgusting. Yeah. Her being enjoying it.
Digging it.
Well, she's so evil. The sorcery. Yeah. She got him to be evil, which was what she wanted. That's so this is... I mean, this is what they have sitting in there. Right. Stretch pants. You know what I'm saying? So he says that, and then then they said, let's go ahead and let's write this down. Yeah. Hey, Gare, what do you
say again?
There's a pen there, Gare. What do you say? Well, here's some paper. Let's go ahead and jot this down on paper, make it official. What do you say, pal? He says, quote, my attack, this is what he wrote. My attack wasn't a vicious attack the first time. I was trying to stop the spirit that was moving in her. That's all he was doing.
Yeah.
So it's just there was a spirit in her, and I kept trying to stab at it, and it was moving around.
Whack-a-mole.
That's literally what he was saying. Like, it was moving. I'm trying to stab at it, and it kept it was dodging me.
Wow.
You know, it was like she had a little, like a lizard in her or something. Like, she had a little Dennis Quaid in inner space floating around in there, and he had to exercise that shit. Had to chase it. I was trying to stop the spirit that was moving in her. She just kept saying, Gary, 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 as if she was enjoying it.
Oh, no.
Or she was going, Gary, why are you stabbing me?
Stop,
Gary, please
Jesus.
stop stabbing me. This is insane.
Oh, my God.
Quote, when she stopped, Jesus Christ. Then he says she stopped moving, and he washed himself, and he changed his clothes, the same as before. Then, in his written statement, because that's all the same as the oral statement, then he writes, I should say, quote, my stepmother started moving again as if a spirit was in her. Whoa. I took the knife and started stabbing her again. Again, that's why we get to 97. When I realized there was something in her that wouldn't stop moving, that's when I started stabbing her in the head and heart. I wanted to kill the spirit that seemed to be attacking my spirit. So.
Oh, boy.
This guy's making having birds in your pocket to munch on sound pretty sane, is he not?
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I mean.
Spirit.
He would look at that guy with wide-eyed admiration of like, wow, he's so sane and together. Like, he's so, spirit.
This is before that Michael J. Fox movie came out, where that death that came out of the wall. You know what I mean? What was that one called? I forget what.
I don't remember.
Something about spirits or something.
I don't remember.
It was a good movie.
There's shaky spirits. I'm not sure.
It was actually pretty decent.
Jittery something.
The plot of it was decent.
I'm not positive.
Good Lord.
I'm not sure.
He'd be a bad TV show chef. Putting way too much oregano in something.
Oh, yeah. No good.
This is the saltiest chicken I ever had.
Although he could chop an onion in no time. Okay, that's enough. Sorry. We like Michael J. Fox. Everyone likes Michael J. Fox. He's a wonderful, kind, little funny Canadian man. He's impossible not to love, and we want him to be healthy. And I feel like if the jokes are good enough, he'd like them too. I'm just being honest. He's a funny guy.
I'll bet he's got really good ones.
He's got better than anyone, probably. That's when he was on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like, they did so much with that.
Really?
Where it's like, where he would he spilled a soda on Larry, and he's like, "Sorry, Parkinson's." And Larry's like, "It wasn't the fucking." Like, he's fucking said it was the Parkinson's. It wasn't the fucking Parkinson's. It was just a regular shake. It wasn't a Parkinson's shake.
So
he did that shit on purpose. And he's like, he lived above Larry in this apartment in New York, and he said he wears these heavy boots, and he's stopping around. He's like, I have to wear those, but it's the Parkinson's, man. He's like, bullshit. He's just fucking doing it to irritate me. So Michael J. Fox has a very good sense of humor about this shit.
That's
great. Jesus Christ. So again, he changed his clothes. Yeah. That's why he I think he went through all his clothes. That's how he ended up in stretch pants.
Okay.
He said, but again, at this point, she's fucking moving again.
Oh, boy.
So now we're on our third outfit change.
Right.
It's like a Lady Gaga concert at this point. Like, she's got several outfit changes.
Yeah.
It's very dramatic.
He's gonna end up in a meat dress.
Yeah, stretch pants and a fucking house coat. Because he stabbed her, changed, came back, stabbed her. Yeah. Now he's changed, and now he's got to stab her again.
Now he's got to go in her closet and get her clothes.
The thing is, he said he changed, but again, she was moving.
Oh, God.
So he said, God damn it, I got to fucking keep stabbing her again, and then I got to change again.
Yeah.
So he ended up doing like 3 outfit changes, and then he left. He was like, man,
I can't do it anymore.
There's one squirmy ass spirit she's got in her, that one. I don't know what the fuck to do here. So now he has been diagnosed in the past as a paranoid schizophrenic, as you might imagine.
Right.
He was. He's been repeatedly institutionalized over the years.
The first time.
No, he's the guy where, like I said, he's in and out of an institution, and then he goes to their house, and then he's there for a few days, and they don't hear from him for a week, and then he comes back, and then they put him back in this is probably his whole life. This has been going on.
In and out of places.
Yeah, and most of it's not criminal as far as he hasn't been a violent criminal before this or anything like that. This is the first manifestation of like a truly violent act or anything like that.
It's just manifested in different ways that have put him under the care of others.
And now it's manifested in, the
worst way possible.
Holy shit. Yeah. So they're investigating the murder, and they're looking for, he doesn't dispute that he stabbed the shit out of her. Mm-hmm. That's several. He just told you
right away
how many times he did it, his outfit changes, and everything else.
Right.
During the investigation, they find a pubic hair on the victim's knee, on Marie's knee, and another one in her hand.
Oh.
Okay. So she's got two individual pubic hairs.
Super
one
far
here,
from
one
each
there.
other.
Yeah, far from each other. Now, they took samples from him, obviously, pubic samples from Gary. Gar.
Oh, Gar.
Let's get them pubes,
Yeah.
Gar.
Come on,
they plucked a couple of 1980.
Yeah.
Things were like 8 inches long.
Yeah.
Pluck a couple of those bad boys
There's
out.
plenty.
Plenty to go. Plenty. Oh, here you go. I got a lot. Could make a wig out of it.
Looks like sprouts.
Oh, yeah. So I got a chia pet down here. So they get the samples from him. They compare him. They compare the pubic hairs and all that sort of thing. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Now, prior to the trial, he makes a motion to just dismiss this whole thing.
Can we throw it all out?
On the ground of insanity. Okay. He's like, look, I'm crazy. We shouldn't be here.
Obviously.
Right? So they say, no, we're going to charge you with premeditated first-degree murder, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
This is a life in prison type situation. You know, this isn't 15 years. This isn't, manslaughter, you poor thing.
We're going to hang on to you forever.
We're gonna keep you locked up for a while here. So his defense was that he was insane at the time he committed the offense, which, I mean, if you're going to say you're insane, you better display this type of behavior.
Yeah.
This is crazy when they say this type of shit.
His statement certainly supports it.
His statement, his actions.
His diagnosis. It's all...
Everything.
It's all there.
It's all laid out.
Yeah.
You could look at this and go, this story from start to finish, diagnosis, institutionalized,
It's got all the makings of a Marie Calendar pop pie.
Marie,
it's all in there.
it's
Every piece.
Like a chicken one too.
Yeah.
It's not even one of the beef ones.
Good
the good
cubes.
ones. A chicken one. Dry.
Good cubes of dry chicken.
Got good cubes of dry chicken cubes. So he also doesn't want the pubic hairs to be admitted into evidence. The state says the admission of the hair and related testimony is essential to the identification of him as the assailant. And, because he's saying I'm crazy, so you shouldn't even question me. Why should that be allowed in? So he says they end up letting the hair in, and he says that it may have been relevant, but they said that since the state has 2 confessions and everything else, why are they bringing it in? By the way, they also have his bloody foot and palm prints at the scene of the crime as well. Yeah. So they have confession, physical. He did this. There's no, and he's even saying he didn't. He's not denying
barefoot.
It. Barefoot. Yeah.
Is it a barefoot print?
Yeah, it's a footprint.
Oh boy.
It says radial 35 inch on it. It's pretty impressive.
It's all season.
All season. It's actually just a chain mark. So,
got his snow chains on.
You know how that goes, yeah. Now, they're saying that the defense is saying, look, the 2 pubic hairs, to let them in is highly prejudicial because it's raising an unsubstantiated inference of a sexual attack. To say there was pubic hairs, the jury is automatically going to infer something sexual went on that we're not hearing about. Because they hear pubic hair, they think sexual.
Pants are off.
Whereas it could have been he showers in this shower and his pubic hair was in it and it's got on her like that.
Got it.
That could be the case.
Or
the state
he has
doesn't
them in his pocket.
Or
Who knows? He's
he
fucking
just
crazy.
sprinkles them around. He might go places and make a purchase over the counter and then sprinkle pubic hair like it's fairy dust. He thinks he's going to disappear. He can't see me now. If I sprinkle pubic hair in front of myself, I disappear. He's nuts. That's what I mean. You don't know what he's thinking. Yeah. So there was no sexual attack whatsoever. This is not a sexual thing. And so he's saying this could only inflame the passions of the jury and make it seem like
on his side
a worse thing. Yeah, absolutely.
The second you said it, I'm like, why is he fucking her knee?
That's, exactly. You hear pubic hair and you hear down there, his dick all over. Right. What's going on?
Jesus, he's got a dick from hand to knee. He's going everywhere.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So they said that, later on that'll be talked about too here. By the way, they call it later on. They're talking about it and they're saying how later on they would say, it is urged that the 2 pubic hairs were at best cumulative and highly prejudicial, raising an unsubstantiated inference of some sort of sexual attack by Mr. Cameron. Now, prejudicial pubic hair is a great name for a metal band.
Hell yeah.
That I will say.
I will use that as my comedy special.
Prejudicial pubic hair is phenomenal. There is no heads or tails of that fucking name. That's great.
I wish we could call
that's
this
a bad name.
That.
Prejudicial pubic hair. Look out for our new podcast coming out in March. Prejudicial pubic hair. where we'll talk about, I don't fucking know.
Anything but pubic hair.
Anything
Just
but pubic hair, because that's prejudicial. We don't talk about that.
Right.
Yeah. So now the state here, their argument is that obviously the evidence is here. They're entitled to show all the circumstances surrounding the killings, and he pled not guilty, so he raised the issue of identity by pleading not guilty. So we're going to identify him. The pubic hair can identify him to the scene. So that's going to be a further. Now we have the fingerprint and the handprint, the footprint, his confession, and a fucking pubic hair. So yeah, that's how it works here. Also, they say that the law on this one is, because it's all about probative value versus, it's all a fucking weight thing as far as, is it more prejudicial than it is probative? It's fucking annoying here. So also the FBI agent could not actually identify the pubic hair as coming from him. All he could say was it was similar, of a similar type, which 90% of people have similar pubic hair.
Yeah, have you ever seen a pube that was specific to somebody?
Is it blonde or red? Right. Well, then it's the same as everyone else's. I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
African American, Italian, white,
same
it's
pubes.
all.
That's it.
They all look the same.
Same pubes. If they're black, they're all the same. And if they're any other color, then they're easily
black and curly. That's it.
So, yeah,
curly as fuck.
So yeah, he stated though that the expert stated that the hair he just stated it could have originated from him. So they have two pubes, and they're like, could have been from him, and they want to introduce that as evidence in a trial, terrible. Which is very prejudicial with the whole, like we said, fucking thing. Now, also, they bring in evidence that about 2 months before this, we're talking April of 1980, Marie Cameron, now I want to say calendar too, thanks. Marie visits her daughter in California. Okay. Sorry, California sounds too close to calendar too. Yeah, Marie Cameron visits her daughter in California. She got there very quickly. Her broomstick, it's a direct as the bird flies. Right. You know how it works.
It's the crow flies.
You just go, as the crow flies right there. So it's easier that way. So fast. She just took the old stick.
Sorcery.
You know, she's got it. She's a scarlet whore beast. So that's what happens.
Clearly,
you know. Obviously,
scarlet whore beast.
Scarlet whore beast.
That's such that's a burner.
Can that be the name of the episode? I don't even know if we can have Scarlet Whore Beast be the name of the episode. Will iTunes allow whore in there?
I want to call a woman that in an argument.
Scarlet Whore Beast. That sounds like something in like the 1700s you'd call someone. A woman had a skirt on above her ankle and Scarlet Whore Beast. Get her from thy streets, away from thy children.
How did Will Ferrell not go there instead of Dirty Pirate Hooker?
Yeah, Scarlet Whore Beast. What the fuck, man?
That's incredible.
It's something. I'll say that. It's fucking something.
That's a burner.
So now he objects to the daughter testifying here, the daughter who was in California, who was visited by Marie Cameron, but they let it in. The daughter testifies that Marie told her that she'd been having problems with Gary.
Yeah.
And she was afraid of Gary and that sort of shit. Also, they had Gary's father there say that one of the reasons she went to California for that trip was it was getting too hard with Gary. Yeah. So it was like she was afraid of Gary and needed
taking a vacation from her home.
Wow. Because Gary's a little too out there. And she went there to tell her daughter, I'm here because Gary's fucking out there. But this is also hearsay.
Yeah.
This is hearsay. There's no proof that this happened. This is just a person hearing that and then saying she said she was afraid of him.
But it's her husband and her daughter. That's close to her.
Absolutely. Definitely. Now, the state argues that that's admissible. It's an exception to the hearsay rule because it establishes the victim's state of mind as it relates to the issue of self-defense, which is his claim of, Scarlet Whore Beast had to defend myself. Right. That's literally his court claim.
Yeah.
Duh, I'm crazy, number one. Number two, Scarlet Whore Beast, you'd have done the same thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm in the right here.
You all get it.
Everybody gets it here. Duh. So, they argue that it's admissible here. The self-defense is really not an issue. It's a non-issue because... they were saying that it was raised solely by the state because he said that in his statement, but in his official this is my case. He's just saying he's crazy. He's not saying self-defense. So now the state is trying to, like, they're saying they're heading off a self-defense defense, but he's not making that defense. So it's one of those things. They're just trying to stack. They're trying to stack as much evidence as they can, which I don't even think you need.
Seems like they're trying to mitigate any type of what's the word after the conviction? What's those other things?
Appeals.
There you go.
Yeah.
Trying to stop those.
Seems like they're trying to make appeals for him. They're giving him all these appealable
giving him
things.
Opportunities.
Yeah, they're giving him appealable.
They're trying to stack evidence that.
This is a prosecutor that wants to get his conviction rate.
Yeah.
He wants to get his conviction, and then fuck appeals. That's not my problem anymore. I don't care. I got my conviction. I can go on TV for re-election and go, I have a 97% conviction rate on violent crimes.
Right.
That's all that fucking matters.
Okay.
They said that the self-defense, the state says the self-defense was an issue because his confessions are admitted into evidence, and he brings up self-defense in there. So we want to head it off at the pass. So that's their argument. They say the attempt to justify the killing by the fact that she possessed a knife. That's what he originally said. And there's no assertion of self-defense in the true legal sense. He said he stabbed her because she was, quote, symbolic with the scarlet whore beast and was very much into sorcery and taking God's truth and twisting it into sorcery.
I'm no lawyer, but it seems like this case would be easier tried with just few words on your part. Use all his words.
Just use his words.
Just be like, you heard him, right?
Just turn and go, huh? Right?
So, guilty.
Bring in the medical examiner
Can we go home?
to describe how horrific it is, and then go, let's read his statements.
Right.
Are we good?
Right.
Oh, did we mention how we found him?
We rest.
That's it.
Right.
We're good here. Now he can get up there and explain it if he wants to.
Right.
Enjoy.
We've given you all the reason in the world to express doubt or express guilt. That's beyond reasonable doubt.
So he's going to be, by the way, there's a bunch of psychiatrists that are going to talk about this because he was definitely seen by 4 different medical professionals
while in the joint
to get opinions for this trial because clearly they knew mental health is going to be an issue.
Fuck yeah.
So he says that they also say self-defense was mentioned again because in the direct examination of Dr. Jarvis, who we'll talk about, he's one of the doctors, they said that the necessity to defend himself was under the direction of God. God, in his mind, this doctor saying that Gary thinks that God told him to defend himself from a witch or, quote, one of Satan's angels. Yeah. Obviously.
Clearly.
So, that was that. Clearly. I mean, she's got a knife. She's one of Satan's angels, Scarlet Whore Beast. Let's get it on. So
witches and Satan's angels, what are the differences?
That's what he's saying. That's like another word for it.
Tomato.
AKA Satan's angels, just to make it a little more, one of those things.
Wow.
So the state's cross-examination of these people here, the self-defense was only connected with delusions, basically. Also, he was not acting in self-defense or anything like that. They said that maybe that would be an insane delusion, but not self-defense. It can't be both. Right. It either was real or not. So it was either really self-defense or he's just crazy and thought it was self-defense.
I'm on board.
Which either way, he wanted to send a sorceress. He's acting under God's order to send a sorceress to another life. Okay. That's what he's saying he was doing here. So, is he crazy?
Yeah.
Well, he, according to these documents here, the court documents, he was demonstrating, and this is as of 1980 something. Right, so the DSM have changed remarkably since then. These are the
we've had a few more cases
to mental health and all this type of shit. But he's demonstrating 2 of the characteristic symptoms of schizophrenia as described in the DSM from back then: disorganized thinking and grossly disorganized behavior. Yeah. He's doing that. There's 2 of the 5 characteristic symptoms which make this up here, and the subject must exhibit 2 of the symptoms in an active phase, and the condition must persist for at least 6 months.
Right.
That's how you're clinically this. So if the delusions are bizarre, like him, then there's only like his, because his are, if you're saying, Scarlet Whore Beast, then you only need one of these things to happen. Literally, that's what it says.
That's awesome.
If it's something bizarre like that, then you only need one. He's crazy enough in that one. He can stand on one leg. of crazy. That's how sturdy it is.
This is like the DMV to get a duplicate driver's license.
Yeah.
You need your driver's license, or you need your current driver's license, or any sort of state documentation. But if you've got your current driver's license, you only need like a medical bill.
Yeah, exactly.
If you
for your
don't
address.
have your driver's license, you need the other shit.
Yeah.
But if you've got that one, we'll give you a duplicate.
There you go. Knock yourself
Southwest
out.
gas bill.
There you go.
This is the equivalent of a Southwest gas bill.
There you go. That's exactly what it was. So, Jesus Christ. So his testimony here, the testimony of the psychiatrists and psychologists, there's some disparity among them, as doctors are never going to agree on anything. It was 3 psychiatrists, Doctors Jarvis, Allison, and Bremer, and a psychologist, Dr. Trowbridge, were all called to testify. They all agreed that he suffered from paranoid schizophrenia. Yeah. That is not debatable. And I really agree. Yeah. I don't think that is debatable here. I'm not a doctor, but he sounds fucking nuts.
He's right up the alley.
He would so far down the middle of it, he'd cause a 7-10 split
for
fucking
sure.
Just right in this head pin.
Oh boy.
So he says that they agreed he's suffering from paranoid schizophrenia, both at the time of the killing and at the time of the trial. It's not like, oh, I was crazy then, I'm good now. Yeah. Oh, you're still crazy. Don't worry.
Still rocking it.
They said, although they all stated it differently, all 4 appeared to agree that he believed he was an agent of God required to carry out God's directions. They all believe him. Mm-hmm. They don't think he's making this shit up just to get out of a fucking murder. They also agreed that he believed that God commanded him to kill Marie Cameron, and that he was therefore obligated to kill the evil spirit as directed by God. He's a good guy. Yeah. God's fucking telling me what to do. What am I supposed to do? Spit in his face?
Oh, boy.
So that's what he's saying. So all doctors, 4 of them, prosecutions, the defense, everybody concurs he's legally insane at the time of the murder. Yeah. Everybody says that.
Everybody's on board.
Everyone except the prosecutor.
I hope they all go talk to each other after. Did he tell you this? Did he tell you this?
Dude.
Fucking, what about this?
I got a story for you. This is the type of guy where, like the Pocket Robin guy, we had a lot of like his psychological records. We had like they studied that guy like at a college level and shit. Like this guy, we don't have any of that. None of that exists. No, it doesn't exist.
Oh, they need to check in on him.
This is the least covered thing we've ever done, I think, probably. This and the one with the one that drove us crazy in Nevada with the kid in the trailer who we didn't know if he did it or not, the footsteps in the snow.
And I've had emails from people that are involved in the trial, and they're like, he totally did. And I'm like, I don't know, motherfucker.
Yeah, and then I have people like, I don't know. Yeah. So it's that kind of shit. So there's no doubt of who did it, at least here. So they all agreed all of this shit. They expressed they said it in different ways, but they said that they all agreed that he thought it was a mechanical thing. In his mind, it was just a mechanical thing. Get rid of the spirit. God's happy with you. You're good. He was trying to kill his stepmother, and he knew it was against the laws of man. Because he even said it in his confession. Legally, I know it's wrong. Right. But,
listen,
as we talked about,
I got an explanation.
Yeah, they do stress, though, that at the time he was preoccupied with delusional beliefs that his stepmother was an agent of Satan who was persecuting him. By the way, this is when it comes up when he talked to these psychiatrists. She wasn't the only one persecuting him. No? There was a lot of people out for him.
Really?
Not just his stepmom. Other people. Yasser Arafat.
Oh,
was also persecuting him. Yes, Yasser Arafat,
the leader of Iran.
No.
Where was he?
What?
Yasser Arafat.
Yeah.
What was he the leader of?
Palestine.
Yes. Yeah.
Not Iran.
Middle East.
Yeah. Palestine.
I get it.
A Palestinian leader here.
Yeah.
Oh, not only him. Also, see, the Muslims here, they knew that he's an agent of God, right? So they're this is his thing. So his 3 people were really persecuting him. His stepmom, all in the name of Satan. His stepmom, the Scarlet Whorebeast. Yasser Arafat, the Palestinian leader.
He have a cool nickname too?
And the Ayatollah Khomeini, also
boy.
The Iranian,
Iran
as well. There
Iran
you go.
Is in.
So the Ayatollah at the time, who had just taken over, and there was a hostage situation and all that sort of thing.
That's his triad.
It is my stepmom, Scarlet Whorebeast, Ayatollah, and Yasser Arafat. They're all persecuting him. Okay. He believed that he was directed by God to kill Satan's angel, and by doing so, he was obeying God's higher order directive. He said that's a higher law than man's law.
Yeah.
Man, we can all make up what we want, but when God decides something, none of that matters.
Right.
That's what he said. I mean, Jesus Christ, Scarlet Whore Beast, fucking duh. So he's one of those things. He said that at that point, at the time that he was talking to the psychiatrist, he believed that he did what he needed to do, and now he's a Messiah.
Oh, boy.
He's in fact a Messiah, not the Messiah, but a Messiah. And he says, basically, I'm like Jesus Christ, basically. I'm not Jesus, but I'm on the playing field. It's like if there was a social club, me and Jesus would go to the same social club and hang out. We belong to the same. We golf together.
I don't.
It's a foursome in the morning.
I don't do anything amazing like turn water to wine or split fucking oceans. I don't do any of that.
No.
All I do is stab women.
Yeah.
And then I'm amazing.
But I'm following God's directives, and I vanquished the Scarlet Whore Beast, Jimmy.
What
I mean,
the fuck.
I get no credit for vanquishing the Scarlet Whore Beast. I get nothing for that. No, I'm Jesus. Duh. Right. Fucking pay attention.
This is incredible.
That's what I mean.
Boy.
There's a lot here to unpack.
Did anybody ever tell Yasser Arafat?
Well,
the Ayatollah?
Yeah, he was like, how did he know? How do they know? He knows every time. Gary!
God damn it, Gerber!
Gerber! Screams from a fucking...
He's got to know. I hope somebody told him. That's so great.
By the way, do you know that, hey, Yasser Arafat, do you know that you caused some crazy fuck to kill his mom and stepmom in Washington? Yeah. So he, and in fact, compared himself to, I love this is from a psychiatrist's report. At this time, he believes himself to be the Messiah, and in fact, compares himself to Jesus Christ. So there's that. I would take from that what you will.
It's written down.
It's written down. The doctors all pointed out, they said in different ways, that because of his delusional belief, he felt God had directed him to send his stepmom from this life to another.
Yeah.
He was getting the evil spirits out of her, and then God would take care of the rest and move her on to another plane or something. You know how it works.
Yeah.
We all know how that goes. Sure. Planes and devils and spirits. And
you yank them out, and then they're good as new.
Whore beasts.
On the other side.
On the other side, they're fine. So,
no longer a whore beast.
Yeah, he had... Then you're good. He said he had no remorse over the killing at all because he was doing a good thing. He felt it was justified by God, and he was merely doing a service. He was doing a service that says, quote, he felt he would generally be protected from any difficulties because, quote, God would not allow that to happen. So... no one was going to arrest him because God's going to protect him from it because he's doing God's will.
Are those handcuffs tight enough?
I mean, I think we should tighten him up a little more. Has he got shackles on? Let's shackle him. I mean, if it's like, a mob boss isn't going to tell you to kill somebody, then turn you into the cops.
Right.
He's going to protect you, and say, give you an alibi and hire a lawyer. No. Apparently God left him out to dry.
Jesus.
Fucking hung him out to dry, man. It's bullshit. So they said the legal test for insanity, the mental health experts said that while he understood it was against the law to kill, he believed he's responding to God's directive. He's killing a demon, sorceress, or evil spirit. Thus, they say in the court documents, while technically he understood the mechanical nature of the act, he did not have the capacity to discern between right and wrong with reference to the act, because he thought that was a fine thing to do. Now, some of the doctors expressed a view that at the time of the killing, he was unable to appreciate the nature and quality of his acts, and nobody said that he did. One of the doctors said they're not sure if he appreciated it or not, but nobody said, he knew what he was doing. Nobody said that. They all say, what makes you crazy legally is whether you can appreciate the nature and quality of your acts and the consequences. That's what makes you... That's legal, or that's why you could have the craziest crazy diagnosis and they still just put you in prison because they changed that shit in the 70s. They changed the laws to where that was what it had to be. Now you had to not know, literally be so out of your mind that what you don't know what you're doing is wrong. So that's how often does that happen?
And he even said, I knew this was illegal. I knew it was wrong.
I know it's wrong.
But
but let me tell you what happened here. They said that, it's a lot about the jury instructions, basically. The trial court gives an instruction to the jury. Now, what they do is they add an extra piece to it, is the problem. They add a thing about right and wrong at the end of it, which is you're not really supposed to do here. It says, for defendant to be found not guilty by reason of insanity, you must find that as a result of mental disease or defect, the defendant's mind was affected to such an extent that the defendant was unable to perceive the nature and quality of acts with which the defendant is charged, or was unable to tell right from wrong with the reference to this particular acts to which they're charged. So they add that in there, and I guess the right or wrong thing is not the standard jury instruction. It doesn't contain that. That's the problem here, and it's all about literally how they instructed the jury on insanity. Because the law doesn't matter; it's how the judge instructs the jury to interpret it. Because they don't fucking know; they're not lawyers. They're just literally being given a bunch of information, and then being told how to interpret that information and put it into very, finite,
compartmentalize these crimes in line with these guidelines of what this law says.
Exactly. So, so they added that in there. Now, there's another case here, this Crenshaw case that we'll talk about here, that they compare this to a lot, because these cases were kind of tied together here. They said the narrow exception to this whole thing, they said that the narrow exception to the societal standard of moral wrong has been drawn for instances wherein a party performs a criminal act knowing it's morally and legally wrong, but believing because of a mental defect that the act is ordained by God. Yeah. This is a case called Crenshaw, which is from this happened right before. While this was going on, these cases were being decided. So it's going to happen there. Such would be the situation with a mother who kills her infant child to whom she's devotedly attached, believing God had spoken to her and decreed the act. Yeah. Something like that. Although the woman knows that the law and society condemn the act, it would be unrealistic to hold her responsible for the crime, since her free will has been subsumed by her belief in a deific decree. Yeah. And a deific decree is what they call this. Okay. That's an actual legal thing now after Crenshaw, and Cameron's going to be in this, Gary too. Deific decree, they're going to add that to the list of shit that gets you kind of off on your mental illness if you literally thought that you were an agent of God. Wow. It's okay.
Moses brought you a tablet, and the tablet said, drown your baby.
Yeah. That's it. And you did it. Now, in Crenshaw, they say one who believes that he's acting under the direct command of God is no less insane because he nevertheless knows murder is prohibited by the laws of man. Indeed, it may actually emphasize his insanity, because they're saying that shows how even crazier he is. Yeah. He's not just like, oh, this is fine. He's like, I know it's here, but God is such a stronger voice. I mean, obviously, he's parsing, weighing which is a heavier fucking thing to follow. Yeah. Should I follow God or the laws of man? I don't know. That's even more nuts. So they said that there's considerable evidence from which the jury could have concluded he suffered from mental disease. He believed his stepmother was Satan's angel, and the whole deal here. The last paragraph of the trial court's thing with the right or wrong is a big deal here. So they go out, the jury. How'd you like to be on this jury?
No.
Holy shit. They've been instructed pretty poorly on insanity, and not what the current law is going to end up being while this case goes through appeals, and he is found guilty. Okay. So not a big surprise there. I don't think anyone expected him to walk.
He said he did it, so.
He said he did it in great detail. Yeah. Sentencing, you, sir, may fuck off. Life in prison.
Yeah, without,
don't need him. I don't know if it's with or without on this one. I could not find that.
But he got life.
But he got life, and grounds for appeal here, though he also has. They said that he doesn't challenge the charge that he stabbed her numerous times and she died as a result. Further, there does not seem to be any serious question that, except for the defense of insanity, the stabbing was done with an intent to kill. The challenge here, his appeal, focuses on 3 errors having denied him a fair trial. 1, the definition of insanity in such a way as to prevent the jury's consideration of his insanity defense with the right or wrong thing. 2, the admission of foreign pubic hairs found in the victim's body. That's a pop band, foreign pubic hairs. Problematic pubic hairs, obviously. Or what was it? What was the other one?
I don't know. Prejudicial.
Prejudicial pubic hairs.
Yeah. So we got prejudicial and what's this one?
Foreign pubic hairs. That's like it's like a new wave band.
It's some Asian shit.
Yeah, some foreign pubic hairs. Dance around, all brightly
6 guys
colored.
with the same haircut. They adopt a different color. One guy's pink, one guy's
It's about fucking Taurus. So, to South Korea.
Unreal.
And 3, the admission of hearsay evidence from an alleged statement made by the victim 2 months prior to her murder. So he's going to challenge on that. Now, the first appeal doesn't go well for him.
I'm sure.
The first appeal affirms the guilty verdict, but it also grants his petition for review. So it says you're guilty, but we're going to keep that, but we'd like to review this thing because it's ongoing with this Crenshaw case of if God tells you to fucking kill, then you're okay. Now, 1983 is when his big appeal comes around with all this shit on the table here. They talk about the pubes, prejudicial pubes a lot here. They said the state had the burden of establishing that Gary was indeed the killer. The record makes clear, however, that at no time throughout the trial did Gary deny he killed his stepmother. So thus, at best, the challenged evidence was needlessly cumulative and unchallenged relevant facts of an undenied killing. So the appeals court doesn't like the pube thing there at all. Also, they said note is of interest wherein it stated unfair prejudice within its context means undue tendency to suggest decision on an improper basis, basically suggesting that he fucked her.
Yeah, I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
They brought it in. It really fucks things up.
Yeah, they say the admission of 2 pubic hairs, their relevance depending solely on the slender reed that they could have originated from the petitioner, which they don't know if it is.
Matter.
Doesn't even match up. Even if it does match up, they wouldn't be relevant.
I like to quote Tim from Stevie and go, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Only 2 people know what happened.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
The pubes, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Did he rape her? Doesn't matter.
Don't matter. It's the truth. But that's the thing is, even if those pubes 100% are, back then they didn't have it, but DNA matched him, it still doesn't matter.
He could have ripped those out after stabbing her and threw them all over her body. If he didn't rape her, who gives a fuck?
If I told you that after he kills someone, he sprinkles pubes on them, would you think it was any outside the realm of possible in this case? No. You'd go, yeah, that's what he does.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's a signature.
Fucking that tracks.
There you go. The slender reed that it actually originated from him would place before the jury both unnecessary and unfair prejudicial evidence that would divert from the facts which should control their verdict. Instead of leading strictly to identify the assailant, and the nature of the evidence would strongly tend to suggest a possible sexual attack or sexual abuse, a suggestion wholly unsupported by the record. In sum, there was an objectionable tendency to prejudice the jury without any exigency of proof to make it necessary or important that the cause be proved in that manner. So, in other words, we're going to reverse the decision.
Yeah.
They're reversing the guilty here, reversing the trial court on this issue. Now, we're going to talk about this Crenshaw for a second because they keep comparing him with the Crenshaw. Now, Crenshaw stabbed his wife 27 times, this guy here. He later returned. Well, that's what I mean. Well, he does. He has an encore.
Really?
That's just his regular stage
his opener?
show. For his encore, he comes back, decapitates her.
Oh, my fuck.
And then buries her remains in a hidden place.
Wow.
So, he's a little different.
But in 3 days, she'll be right back.
She'll be back, no problem. Yeah.
Because Jesus told me to do it.
Now, in Crenshaw, there was testimony by medical experts that he had delusions of grandeur, religiosity, including a belief in his possession of special powers, auditory hallucinations, lack of insight, and extreme emotional liability. It's a fucking mess, this Crenshaw guy. A psychiatrist testified that Crenshaw was suffering from a paranoid state and was in remission from former psychotic episodes. He had a history of mental problems. He was hospitalized 15 times in 8 years for being a diagnosed paranoid schizophrenic. This Crenshaw guy had a lot going on.
Is there a dateline of that? Because I'd like to send that to my ex-father-in-law.
You should, actually. Is this who you were going for. Crenshaw said he knew he killed his wife and it was violating the law, but he believed that he had a duty to do it under the teachings of his Muscovite religious beliefs.
Okay, so he's saying he's Muslim?
Muscovite. No, Muscovite's a Russian culture.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's this Russian.
I just picked the place where they worship.
No, it's like an ancient, like, it's not even a religion, really. It's sort of I don't want to get into whether it is or not, but no, it's like an ancient belief system, this Muscovite shit. So that's what he believed in. So he had like some sort of like weird Middle Ages thing going on where he thought he was I don't fucking know here. Now, with Gary, medical experts, they say, testified that he suffered from paranoid schizophrenia, both at the time of the trial and the killing. He said, he related his feelings about the incident by saying, I felt confused. I felt no different from the beginning than the end. There was no difference. And legally, I know it's against the law, but as far as right and wrong in the eye of God, I would say I did no particular wrong. He believed that God commanded him to kill his the Scarlet Whore beast. He said that he knew it was against the law to kill, but it's an evil spirit. You got to do it. So they said that despite the state's reliance on self-defense argument to justify its challenged hearsay evidence, no one, including the state, submitted a self-defense instruction. So they claim that he was going to claim self-defense, but no one brought that up other than the one thing he said in his confession, but that wasn't his legal defense. No, and that's what it would have to be. He would have to be claiming self-defense with the jury. Otherwise, it's not. So the jury could have only considered the testimony as it related to the killing and the insanity. So, they said a narrow exception to the societal standard of moral wrong has been drawn for instances when a party performs a criminal act knowing it's morally and legally wrong, but ordained by God, as we talked about here. So that's what's known as the Crenshaw exception. Now, that's a different thing. They said Crenshaw performed his dastardly murder. This is out of a court document, by the way, believing he had a duty to do it under the teachings of his Muscovite religious beliefs. Cameron committed a very similar vicious murder on the basis that God commanded him to kill his stepmother and that he was obligated to kill the evil spirit. I frankly don't see much or any distinction, this is a judge, however, in carrying out or executing a murder under the direction of God or Crenshaw's Muscovite religious beliefs or under the beliefs of a prophet or Buddha or even Paul Newman.
Yeah.
They said. So it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Which you are.
Yeah.
To get real into this.
The judge picked a pop culture reference from, 62.
Well, it's 1982.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Paul Newman was a huge star back then.
He's
a giant
Didn't
star.
even have salad dressing out.
No, just a huge fucking movie star. That's it.
Paul Newman.
So, or Paul Newman or anybody, So, and he's a big fan of The Hustler. What do you want? He's a Sundance kid, and Butch Cassidy likes him there. I'm a Butch guy, So,
Paul Newman.
Yeah, which this is you're digging in deep because you're trying to compartmentalize whether you're trying to say, does it matter whether it's an established societal God or not? Yeah. And they're saying that doesn't even matter.
No,
whether because he believes in God, that doesn't give that quote belief any extra weight that it's real.
No.
Whether it would be Paul
Seventh-day
Newman
Adventist,
or
I don't know
Buddha.
what the fuck they believe in, but whatever they pray to, if they kill in fucking servitude for that thing, put them in prison too, or wherever the same person goes for killing for Jesus.
This guy's basically, I think, saying that God shouldn't get any extra weight. If anyone's crazy and they think that whoever's telling them to do it doesn't have to be God. Because, he's saying legally, I don't know the existence of God to say that this is real.
Could be your neighbor's dog. I don't give a shit.
Exactly. Right. So he said, this being the case, hearsay testimony of her ex-husband and daughter could not have been relevant under the state of mind exception to the hearsay rule. This is true because the victim's state of mind itself was not relevant to any material issue before the jury. At best, it bears only a remote or artificial relationship to the legal or actual or factual issues actually raised and was thus inadmissible. So how Marie felt about whether she was scared of him or not is really fucking irrelevant. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Is he fucking crazy or not? And the state just tried to add more and more and more, and they ended up fucking themselves here. They also seek to justify the challenged hearsay evidence by asserting it was relevant to prove premeditation. Once again, we're compelled to disagree with the state's argument. To the extent that the hearsay testimony was admitted to prove the petitioner's thought process. So, he's saying that, it's not that at all. it doesn't matter whether it was premeditated or not because he fucking said it himself, that what he was doing. So again, superfluous. And finally, the Court of Appeals here indicates that if the trial did err by admitting the hearsay testimonies of the ex-husband and daughter, such error was harmless. That one was. It is in the interest of the state. It is of interest. The state does not rely on the harmless error theory. Rather, the court's position, rather than joined by the state, says we don't agree with any of their theories. Basically, they said the potential for misuse of the testimony or misunderstanding of its application is too great, carrying with it a substantial likelihood of prejudice to his case. They can't agree that the error was harmless because that's what the first appeal said. This appeal says no, and they said the hearsay testimony was not relevant to any material issue before the court. It's inadmissible, and the testimony was irrelevant and had no probative value, therefore inadmissible. Therefore, the court reverses and remands for a new trial, consistent with this opinion. Now, this is in the newspaper, that thing, okay, saying that he got his conviction tossed out and he's fine because of, whatever the fuck. Directly underneath it, I'm talking the article directly underneath it. Right next one is about a teenage kid who was sent to prison for 8 years for shoplifting. He stole a pair of sunglasses, and when they caught him, he had a gun on him. Didn't pull it on anybody, but the fact that he had a gun on him while he stole something made it an armed robbery with a state minimum. He's a teenage kid with a state minimum of 8 years in prison.
What a dipshit to carry that gun, to do that dumb shit.
They said if he goes in without a gun, he pays a $50 fine and walks out, and that's it. But now he's going to prison
back
for 8 years. The judge says, I don't think he deserves that. He said to sentence him to 8 years in prison is terrible. So that's directly different. This guy is fine, and then this kid's getting 8 fucking years in prison. So it's crazy, man. So this case now, the Crenshaw and Cameron have become precedents for crazy, basically here, and it's relying on its decision here. The court makes it clear that a defendant following deific commands qualifies as insane only if his free will has been subsumed by his belief in the deific decree. So he has to really believe it, basically here. Has to believe it's a command of God. Also, extraterrestrials qualify as well in there. This is
I'm good with that.
It's literally legally, or an extraterrestrial. You never know. I mean, whatever they believe in here. So
how great is that God and extraterrestrials are the same thing?
It's the same thing. It's legally same shit. We don't care. A voice it doesn't exist. That's all we know. So
a voice that you cannot prove exists.
It's so fucking funny here. So they talk about too. They really get into. I looked up all this shit to kind of get into this. I'm fascinated by the fact that you're crazy sometimes and you're not crazy sometimes. Even if you're super crazy, you're not super crazy unless it's a specific kind of crazy. I'm really fascinated by our legal system and how it defines, because I really feel like there's a lot of people who are mentally ill and severely mentally ill that commit crimes that we just send to prison. Whereas, years ago, they would be in hospitals.
And the prison's not treating them for that mental illness. Therefore, perpetuating that mental illness and making it worse and worse and worse and worse. And then if they are ever freed upon whatever crime that they're on,
crazier.
It's
and now they're way more violent, too.
And they're unleashed on
society. And they're tempered to this shit now, too.
Now they're creating a legit fucking Frankenstein monster.
Yeah. So one of these, I found this, that's true. I found, there's legal discussions, big legal breakdowns about what all this means. And they say if it is a compulsion, does it matter if God is speaking? If it's not a compulsion, is the person really insane? So they said the question goes to another contradiction. Deific decree makes sense only as a volitional category with the defendant unable to resist a command hallucination. So it has to be. This is so fucking.
You gotta stop with specifics.
It's so man. You
gotta backtrack and make it wider.
It's who the fuck knows, man. This is crazy. They talk about the deific degree is culturally archaic, a holdover from a time when secular and church courts were merged. It used to all be one. A doctrine of mercy in line with the church's often humane treatment of the mentally ill back in the day. Deific decree may once have been a positive force because you'd have somebody out there go, "It's the Scarlet Whore Beast, and she raided my farm, and I needed, shit like that." As the doctrine which treats the religious mentally ill differently from the secularly mentally ill is unfortunate. That's the thing. A large reflection of cultural moment, as a reflection of a cultural moment, is a part of the past. I agree with this. This is what I'm saying. Why is it fair for you? Let's say I get a voice. Let's say I just hear a fucking voice. Yeah. Let's say my version of you tells me to fucking kill someone in my head. Right. How is that different from someone who believes in God? Yeah. Why is it way heavier because he believes in God? This is fucking America. Yeah. God's not in the Constitution as far as, he's not a citizen.
Right.
Right.
We should throw my father-in-law in prison for thinking that Kirk Cameron.
Thank you. Matter of fact, Kirk Cameron should be thrown in prison. This episode is brought to you by the fact that Kirk Cameron should be in the fucking slammer now. Someone go put that fucker in cuffs.
Creating voices and thoughts in people's heads that are inaccurate. Yeah. So what do they do then for this?
So he's going to end up, from what I can find, he ends up pleading on some sort of hospitalization, prison, there's some sort of deal that is not really I can't find the public record of it. All I can find is references, like archaic references to it. So
they Mark David Chapman him and just put him in a fucking facility?
If they put him in a facility or if they ended up, but I mean, this guy could be fucking walking around at this point.
Oh my God, he needs to be in an over the cuckoo's nest place forever. We don't
know, and I can't find him right now. If you can find Gary, it's Gary A. Campbell.
Oh, that's too
Cameron, I'm sorry, not Campbell. Gary Campbell, wrong person.
Gary Campbell?
Don't look for whoever Gary Campbell is, because that poor bastard did nothing. It's Gary Cameron, Gary A. Cameron. I looked for him a lot.
It seems like a very common name.
It's very common. Yeah. There's just a lot of them.
Yeah.
And a guy like this who just kind of drops off the face of the earth, it's kind of hard to find.
I'll bet he drops off a lot.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't know. That's the thing. Even if they let him out for that, he could be in hospitals because he's just crazy. He's in and out of hospitals.
50s?
Yeah, he goes in and out of hospitals forever.
50s, maybe early 60s?
He's 60-ish, I think, right now.
God.
Yeah. So
he doesn't have a Facebook. He's long gone.
He might have. If anyone has a Facebook, these are the people who are on Facebook. By the way, these are the ones right here.
Only a Facebook.
Only
doesn't
a
have
Facebook.
Anything else.
Nothing else. That. Just a Facebook to retweet political conspiracies and shit like that.
Palestinian conspiracy.
He's one of these people that when he gets pulled over by a cop, he's like, "I'm a traveler. I don't have to give you my ID. I'm sovereign." Whenever that happens, I want a cop to just reach in, grab, and I hate police brutality, all this, but whenever someone's like, well, I'm a sovereign traveler.
Oh, fuck you.
One guy said, the guy goes, well, you're driving in your car with because something was wrong with his car, brake lights or something. You're driving in your car with none of this. He goes, I'm not driving in my car. I'm traveling in my vehicle. Yeah. That's what he said. Yeah, right then, I had to rip him out of the car and beat him to death on the side of the road. You would have had to
You're useless, sir.
People would have had to pull me off of him, still swinging and kicking, going, you cocksucking motherfucker. That's why I can't ever be a cop and could never be a cop. How fucking dare you? Yeah. Don't you stand there and tell me that shit. Try to play semantics with me. I will fucking crush your skull under my nightstick.
Stop with this I'm sovereign shit.
You're not sovereign. You're not. You know when you want to be sovereign? Go buy one of these fucking uncharted islands that aren't a part of it. Now you're sovereign. Do whatever the fuck you want. But guess what you can't have? Roads and interstates and movie theaters.
You can't benefit from anything we got.
And the dilapidated Safeway. You don't get any of that shit. Gone now.
Remember what happened in
Build it yourself, sovereign boy.
When Peter tried to claim sovereign nation?
Thank you. Build it yourself, sovereign asshole. Go ahead.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah. Fuck yourself. So that is Shelton, Washington. And that's, like I said, one of the weirder cases I could find ever. And I'm like, I don't know if this case, I didn't know if it had enough, but I'm like, Scarlet Whorebeast? This needs to be out there. How is this not? No one publicized this.
That's a fascinating claim in court. To say those words.
Scarlet Whorebeast.
Right at a judge's face.
The prosecutor was like, the Scarlet Whorebeast said it's crazy. So I needed to get some due this thing completely.
And we've got no closure.
No closure.
No fucking idea.
And I can't even find, poor Marie Cameron, I can't even find a fucking obituary on her. It's like she's disappeared off the face of the earth.
I mean, she definitely disappeared off the face of the earth.
I mean, her corpse and everything.
But I'm sure her husband does not not want anybody having any sort
Probably
of
not. It's her son killed his ex-wife.
Yeah.
His
son killed
his
a
ex-wife.
woman that has nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
Not even his mom.
No. I don't know what his mom's all about.
Right.
I couldn't get that much out of it.
Oh, my
It's
God.
not publicized enough to even find out. But
What a terrible story.
it's a fucking crazy story. So Happy New Year with that
welcome back.
story. Welcome back. Fucking New Year. Definitely, if you did like that story, there's a way to tell us about it. It's very simple. You can get on Apple Podcasts, that purple icon. Give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say. Say you're following instructions. Tell us you're following directions. Tell us you're locking the trunk.
Say Scarlet Whorebeast.
That's if it'll take it. Do it. It probably won't take it. But say, I am the Scarlet Whorebeast. That would be fine as well.
Scarlet Werebeast. Say that.
Yeah,
because it won't
we'll
take
know.
whore.
No,
we'll get it.
Or just whore without the H. They won't know.
War Beast?
War Beast. Or whore without the E.
There you go.
They don't know.
WHOR.
Yeah, that's all.
HOR.
It's just HOR.
HOAR.
We're confusing people now. Thank you for the reviews.
Thanks for being there.
That said, also go over to shutupandgivememurder.com for everything small town murder and crime and sports. And please listen to Crime and Sports. It's so crazy lately. You're missing a lot and you don't have to like sports at all. But most of all, what you can get there are tickets to live shows, everybody. Goodness me. Let's go through the list quickly. Just a few. Goodness me. That was my attempt at being corny. I'm not good at it.
Blow me down.
I'm not good at shit like that. I don't have a lot of those phrases. You know, I just don't. I'm not that kind of guy. I'd rather say, fuck your mother. All right.
Fuck your mother. We're going to Louisville.
We're going to Louisville. Fucking everybody's mother in Louisville. Yeah. Indianapolis, February 15th. We'll be fucking your mothers right there at the Egyptian Theater. February 16th, Louisville. Lock up your mothers. We'll be at the Baumard Theater. March 13th and 14th, San Francisco, California. We're going to have your
mothers.
Yeah, we're going to have your mom tied up in the green room of Cobb's Theater up on the second floor there while I smoke a joint and hang out the window and look down at the street like I do in that place.
With Robin Williams' ghost.
With Robin Williams' ghost standing over me.
There are caricatures all over that room of just dead comedian after
every
dead
one of them's dead. Like, Jesus, never let them put our name on the wall. We'll be fucking dead in no time. March 27th, Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit, your mom's afraid of Detroit and you know it. So take her there at the Royal Oak Music Theater. The 28th and 29th in Cincinnati at Bogarts.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's going to be wonderful. 7th and 8th in Nashville are sold out. There's a Crime and Sports in there too. That's going to be wild. Oh, May the 8th, Austin, Texas at Emo's. I know that show's selling fast too.
It's close.
It's close, I think. So get those. May 9th, Oklahoma City. We're going to Oklahoma.
What?
Please buy tickets.
Do you know why we're going there? I know why. The agent called me yesterday and said there are a ton of mothers there.
Oh, that makes sense. Fucking all these mothers.
So many mothers in Oklahoma.
I don't question anymore. May 22nd, Boston, Massachusetts at the historic Wilbur, which is, I think there's about 8 tickets left.
Yeah.
Singles up in the balcony.
Yeah.
It's worth it. Come there. It's a great theater. That's one of those theaters where the balcony might as well be right in front of the stage.
One of the best theaters in the country.
Yeah,
it's so beautiful.
It's so everything's close to the stage.
I love it.
It's like the Athenaeum in Chicago.
Right.
Those
Just
balconies.
like
it's made to have a balcony. It's not. It's not just extra seats they stuck up there.
It was not an afterthought.
No, they did it on purpose to be really, really well. It's a great fucking theater.
San Jose Theater, the improv there is very similar to that.
Is it?
Fucking rad.
Cool. I can't wait.
So cool.
Sounds good. New York, we're going to be in Brooklyn, guys.
Yeah.
Brooklyn on May 23rd at the Murmur there. So get your tickets. Those are going fast. Seattle's just about gone. Yeah. I think there's, like I said, 5 tickets and they're all singles at the Neptune.
Where are we at this point? What month?
We're at June.
June.
That
Portland. Many fucking shows.
Yeah, Portland sold out on June 6th. June 7th is the second show at the Aladdin, and it is selling very fast. New Orleans at the Joy in July 31st, 2020. August 1st in Atlanta. Guys, people don't want to come to the South in the summer, in the extreme South, so help us out here.
We're
Jesus,
do it.
We got talked into it. Help us at the Buckhead, which we love. It's a great theater. Good air conditioning in there.
Good.
August 14th and 15th, we're at San Jose at the Improv, and then Sacramento, Ace of Spades, and I think Sacramento is sold out. So never mind that one. September 11th and 12th, we were in Tampa and Orlando at the Improvs there. Tampa September 11th, Orlando September 12th. So get your tickets
was it
there.
Tampa last time we did an Improv? It was. That place
great.
is great.
That's a great
club. Cool.
Holy shit, that's a fun club.
Staff is great.
They're really good.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. There are roosters running around outside, but
that's
it's
bizarre.
Ybor City, whatever. September 25th 5th, San Diego at the Observatory. We loved that place last time. September 27th at the Brea Improv out there in Brea by L.A. Washington, D.C., October 9th at the Fillmore. Philadelphia, October 10th at the Fillmore as well there. Those are both really nice. They're great staff too. October 22nd in San Antonio at Laugh Out Loud. San Antonio. Wow, that's weird that we're going to San Antonio. Please buy your tickets. Dallas, Texas at the Majestic. August 20th, October 20th.
Fucking huge.
Okay, that place is enormous. Please buy your tickets for that.
Come to that show.
October 25th in Houston at the Houston Improv, and that was a fun show last time.
It's gonna be so great.
Great club. November 6th in Milwaukee at the Pabst. That's another big giant theater, so come see us there. November 7th in Madison at the Barrymore Theater. Those tickets are going very fast. November 19th in Pittsburgh, Munhall, PA, actually. Carnegie this place is so nice. It looks like the boarding school from Toy Soldiers from the outside. And in the inside, it looks like a full Philharmonic should be playing, not us.
It looks like it's on the campus of Yale. It's bananas.
We're going to fucking ruin that place. So come witness this. It's really, we have no business being there. November 20th, this is more like it. Cleveland at the Hilarities.
Now you're talking.
That's good. You don't get any more different from those two nights. November 21st, the Davidson in Columbus, Ohio, which is a real nice theater. And rounding it out, Minneapolis on December 4th at the Pantages. Back there again. We loved it last time, right in downtown. And then December 5th, we always close it up in Chicago. Chicago's our adopted hometown. We'll just say that here. Chicago, Illinois, back at the Athenaeum where we really had a good time last time.
It's just
lots of fun.
Fucking incredible to put together a show there on our own, mind you. We didn't,
the first one we ever did.
Anything.
Our first show we ever did, live shows, were there, where it was at the Lincoln Hall in Chicago. We didn't know if anyone would show up.
Sold out 2 shows.
Sold out Crime and Sports and Small Town Murder, and you guys were so nice to us that we're just like, Chicago's always our place. We have to go back.
We go back and it sells out. We go back and it sells out. And then this is going to be our 4th time there. This
is our 5th time there. Yeah, we just got finished our 4th time there.
Unbelievable.
So and it gets better every time. And the crowds there are just some of the best crowds in the country. We love those Midwest crowds. You guys are fucking awesome. I don't know if it's just because you're cold and happy to be in the heat or what, but
Bailey and Jimmy, last time we were there, went out and drinking with us. They're the dude that the guy that runs that fucking, it's a car shop, or he works on old cars. It's just people like that, just
they're
Midwest,
really cool.
salt of the earth, rad fucking
really cool people.
So fun to hang out with.
And they're gonna have legal weed now too. So, I mean, Jesus Christ, could that city get any fucking better? It's awesome. So do that. Also follow us on social media so you can get any updates if we add, because there will be a show or two added to this tour, and when things sell out and new shows are added, you want to be on our social media to get those updates here. We are at Murder Small on Twitter, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, and at Small Town Murder on Instagram there. And you can find us there. If you want to be a hero of ours, damn it, an even bigger hero than anybody who really does anything for us, a hero. If you want to be our own personal Scarlet Whore Beast, you can do that extremely easily by going to patreon.com/crime and sports, or heading over to PayPal and using our email address crimeandsports@gmail.com to make a one-time donation there. And you can use that email address to send us any kind of case suggestions or anything you want like that. Keep on doing that. And without further ado, there's only one thing only one thing that will cleanse my spirit and soul from this episode.
Is it this list of SWBs?
It's the list of our very goddamn special, wonderful fucking people. Jimmy, hit me with it like, I don't know, a knife to the heart in the bathtub. Let's do it. Hit me with it like a Scarlet Whore Beast.
This week's executive producers are Tyra Cates, Gary Howard, Mike Italag, I think, Brent Keister, Carrie Clark, Emily Togney, Dennis Prater, Brittany Helm, Tanya Volanek, Michael Dunbar, John Taylor, and Jordan Bennett. You guys don't know what to do for us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for everything this entire year, guys.
Truly.
Thank you.
Other producers this week are Debbie Chapman, Gemma Bowman, Azul Amil, Temri Iverson. I'm sure I got that wrong. Thomas Lovedahl, which is really unbelievable. You poor bastard, Tommy.
It's a Thomas Lovedahl. It comes with an erect penis. Thomas is always in the mood.
Unreal. Poor fuck. Jacob Pilkington, Dana Barry, Brandon Schmalls, Dana Barry.
No.
Oh, Barrett. No, not Dana Barrett. Is that a person? What is that name?
That's Sigourney Weaver in Ghostbusters.
You're probably right.
Mistaken.
And Andrew Cricketmore? No, Crickmore. Crickmore. That's bizarre. Amanda with no last name. Justin Brooks, Lori Jackson, March Wilkins, Charlie and Sarah Spence, I imagine, because it said Charlie Sarah Spence. I think it's Charlie and Sarah. I think
he's
that's
got an unusual middle name.
Or she does. Or she has
an unusual
weird first name. Right. Heather Monday, Nicole Coons, Austin Olson, Jesse Thibodeau, Sarah Hargrove, Lisa Cox, Ree Hempsall, Dane Arias, Amber Daryl, I think it's Daryl, Sam Metz, Jim Shaughnessy, or Shaughnessy, I think it's Shaughnessy, James Redden, Jessica McPhee, Mary Carmody Trotman, Heather Bishop, Kendra Smith, and she donated both ways. Thank you, Kendra.
Thank you.
Mark with no last name with a C, that specifies it a little more. Mia Lombardo, Jessica Wilkowski, Amy Mathis, Kimmy Novak, Laura Maines, Caitlin Joyner Danziger, Thomas with no last name, is that Hilda What did I do? Hilda?
What have you done, Jimmy?
TJ?
What have you done?
I think that's right. I don't think so. Holly Webb, Andrew Ristubin, Laura Mead, Timothy Foote, Dylan Leahy, Julia L., Candy Fagan, Caitlin Morgan, Jody Ash, Heather Dustman, Emily Richardson, Jeff Newman, not Jeffman New. Raymond, Ryan.
He's new.
Ryan Sim, Wesley Coast, Cody Laversi. That guy's fantastic. He's from, I think he's in the Midwest somewhere. Detroit, maybe? He drives a Jeep. That's all I know.
Hey.
Linda Fitch, Rusty Poorboy, Alexandria Frazier, Anne Goyette, Max Alberts, Lauren Demarath, Mary Hemphill, Abby Siegel, Dale Ashburn, Jay Lafreniere. Nope. TJ Mack, thank you very much for everything you did for us this year. She donated both ways.
We'll see you soon, TJ.
Yes, can't wait. Jesse Hartman, Beth Nissonger, Michael Wazowski, Liz Vasquez. Again, somebody
Liz,
else.
Thank you.
Thank
Liz,
you so
Jordan,
much.
We have so many people.
Everything.
I don't want to
for
miss anybody.
For real.
So many.
Peyton Meadows, again. Susanna Pratt.
Yeah, these are
you guys are so
man.
nice. Thank you,
guys.
Jenny Jekyll, Ashley with no last name, and an I, not a Y. That specifies it a little more. Catherine with a Y. That specifies it with no last name. Kevin Lassen, Heather Loeffler. She's donated a bunch of times too. Rebecca Young, Ryan Schlossel, Zach Lee.
They don't deserve you, goddamn people.
Truly. Robin Anderson, and she sent us a gift. Thank you so much, Robin.
You.
We got that in the mail.
Yeah, thank you, by the way, just before you go on. Thank you guys so much in the shouts for all the gifts we got for the holidays.
Honestly.
We got so much.
Jaybird Wedbetter sent me a... Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That's a fucking switchblade.
That's a switchblade.
That's illegal.
You made all sorts of weird audio things happen with that.
Thank you all so
cool
much.
T-shirt he sent me with some stickers too.
The whiskey, the jerseys from Fuller, the things you guys send us.
Jason Fuller, the Jim Cornette book.
Unbelievable.
Thank you so much, Jason. That is so cool. I'm going to send you a message, but I just want to say it on the air too. Really cool. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Jeremiah Bueller, Ryan Black, Trey Volkanar. I said that he's donated a bunch of times too.
Yeah.
Kelly Peterson, Robert Sukach, cool. Amber Lobb, Angelina Hever, Michael Warwick, Lauren Jerkowski, and Ashley Vio from the beginning. You guys, all of our Patreon supporters, you guys do so much for us, and we can't thank you enough. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, so much. Mm-hmm. It's really just so appreciated, and we just can't believe that you guys go out of your way for us, honestly. We try to give you the best show we can, and when people are like, I want to do something for them in return, it's just weird. You don't expect people to you don't expect people to want to reciprocate anything. You just expect people to want to take and run away with it. But not our people. Our people are great. That's why we said come to shows even if you're going by yourself.
Right.
This is a great group of people, and you're going to have you're going to have a fun time. You're going to make friends.
We enjoy meeting you. We
love it, man.
I love going out after the shows and having a drink if I can. If we're not
leaving at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I'm popping out and having a drink with you guys and frequenting some fucking bar in whatever town and giving a little bit extra commerce somewhere. That's nice too. And hanging with you guys and listening to your stories.
I won't do that, but if you find the right alley, I'll be in it smoking, and you can hang out with me if you want.
I'll help you find your keys to your car.
I'll be there hanging out. I'll be the dude in the hat.
I just really like
big
meeting
coat.
people. It's fucking rad.
No, we love that
great.
shit. We have a great time meeting you guys. Thank you so much for everything, honestly. And what if they wanted to meet you in the internet type of way? How might they do that, Jimmy?
You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And after the shows, that's where you can message me, and hopefully I'll have somewhere that people are going to drink. And if I don't, then I just won't write you back.
So it depends.
But I do my best.
You
Where
never
do they
know
find
how
you?
our travel days are because we come in and out. But
maybe we'll go have coffee. Where are
there you go.
Where are they finding you?
You can find me at Jimmy P is funny, or just copy and paste my last name and my whole name from the show description and find me that way. It's a little bit easier than trying to spell it yourself because you're not going to spell
on
it right.
Twitter,
Let's
you
be
can
honest.
find him at Scarlet Whorebeast.
At Scarlet Whorebeast. Scarlet Whorebeast 69 at hotmail.com that's your email address. That's Jimmy's old email address. His father-in-law was right to give him that fucking movie. Tell you that right now. All right, everybody. That said, holy shit. What a goddamn show. We're having a good time, and we're going to keep coming back, everybody. And until next week, we will...
No.
Until next week, everybody. It's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus